Light it up.
Fellas, what's going on? What's up, everybody in attendance? How you guys doing today? Chat, drop an emoji. Let us know how you feeling today. What's up, Mars? What's up, Mustard?
What's am?
Oh, Aramis Jones is here already.
Early to the show, Aramis Jones right off the top saying Paolo and Franz are the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He not lying. He not lying.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
But we don't want to spend 3 hours talking about Cole Anthony, so let's talk about random stuff for a while, and then we'll get to the Magic in the last 20 minutes.
Now we're gonna get to the Orlando Magic. I definitely want to talk about them. I do.
Yo, you don't like Cole Anthony, Mars?
I mean, no one wants to talk about Cole Anthony. I mean, the Magic have, 5 nationally televised games? Like, why are we talking about them? We shouldn't be talking about them.
Watch what happened when they make the playoffs this year, Mars.
Hey, they can
They'll
do it.
still, then they'll have some nationally televised games in the playoffs. I mean,
They'll have 10 televised games.
Then we can talk about them. About them. But as of now, I mean, we should be talking about the Lakers. And
It's kind of crazy considering how great Paolo was.
What up, Jay Milton? Jersey in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Mustard? What was you saying?
I said it's kind of crazy that the lack of attention Paolo be getting, considering how good he was in his rookie year. It's kind of weird.
Chill. Is that
because he's in Orlando?
That's my question. What kind of attention should Banchero be getting though?
I mean, I have a question then, because when Dwight came in the league, wasn't he getting attention?
Well, he wasn't.
As a rookie,
a lot of attention.
Dwight came out of high school though.
As a rookie, from my knowledge, I wasn't around, so I'm going to defer to everyone else. But from my knowledge, he wasn't like must-see TV for anyone. I don't think anyone was like losing their mind over Dwight.
Actually, they were. And the reason why is because it was still a big man era. They were still making a transition, and Shaq was still around. Duncan was still around. So the big man was still around, and Dwight Howard was the next great big man. That was the logic on him. That he was going to be the next great big man. And him coming out of high school, being the #1 overall pick at Atlanta, Georgia, and he was going to be the next Shaq down in Orlando. So he was a big deal, a huge deal coming out of high school.
He didn't look like that to me as a rookie. He looked skinny as hell.
He was. He was small.
He put on a lot of muscle.
Chill though. Isn't that the same thing with Paolo? Isn't that the same thing with Paolo? I think that's what Mustard's saying. And correct me if I'm wrong. He like Dwight was the next big thing, but isn't Paolo the next big thing in an era full of 6'10" guys, which Paolo is, who can shoot on the perimeter, which Paolo can, who can handle on the perimeter, which Paolo can, and on top of that, who can get busy in the paint.
Right, they could, but the big man again during that time,
USA?
Yeah, but the big man during that time was just such a big deal. So don't get me wrong, wing players are a big deal today, but they weren't as big a deal as the big man. Don't forget the year that Dwight Howard got drafted in 2004. The Lakers had just won the NBA championship 3 straight years, and that was powered by Shaq. So this guy is going to be the next big man to take his team to the NBA championship and be that and continue to carry the league. You know, Paolo coming out of college. I mean, Paolo is I think he was the best player in the country coming out of college. But I mean, what is he considered to be? Is he the next James? Is he the next?
When I was watching Paolo,
Anthony,
when I was watching Paolo in college, and I thought it's been like this since college. He's been kind of underrated, or at least underhyped, I should say, because the fact that it was even a debate between him, Jabari, and who's the other guy? Chet, right?
It was Chet.
Like I thought, and to be fair, Chet, I can understand because the potential, right? Like the raw potential with him, but like because I think before the draft, Jabari was slated to be the first pick.
That's who I had.
I thought was crazy.
Yeah, because everyone knew Chet was going to. That was like a
everyone knew. Yeah.
So as a Houston fan, I'm here thinking we're getting Paolo.
Yeah,
I was not sold on Jabari. I was like, cool, Jabari goes 1, we get Paolo. I'm like, all right, cool, great draft. Next one, the Orlando Magic take.
I couldn't believe that that was even a conversation. No disrespect to Jabari, but I couldn't believe that was a conversation. Paolo was amazing in college. Like he was the clear-cut best player, in my opinion. Like I can understand if you thought Chet was
better. College,
player. He wasn't the clear-cut best. He was the best. He was the best player, but he wasn't the clear-cut. He was on the best team. No question about that. He was definitely on the best team, and he
or
was
at least can we say this? Can we say among the prospects, he was like the most polished guy to come out the draft at the time?
He was.
I would have taken
offensively the most
polished.
polished.
I still would have taken.
Oh, you would have taken? No. That's why Chet is, because the raw potential with Chet is insane. So I can understand taking Chet, but like the Jabari convo, I just. I'm sorry, bro. Like that was just ridiculous to me.
I was a big fan of Jabari coming out of college. My boy put me on to him. I thought that he was going to be the real deal, and it's materializing. Don't get me wrong. It's happening.
He can be good though. Don't get me wrong.
It's not happening as fast as Paolo. No doubt about that. It's not happening as fast as Paolo. But coming out of college, I was really excited about Houston getting him, and I do think that they got the right guy. No doubt about that. I do. I think they got the right guy.
With Paolo,
I don't know about the right guy, but
I was never huge on Paolo. Even as a Duke fan, I watched a lot of him at Duke. I thought he was incredibly lazy. I thought his 3-point shot. I don't know why people think he's some amazing 3-point shooter. He's not. I think there's a lot of times in games.
The potential is there.
That's not the one weakness in his game. Is that?
But people act like he's a great. But even as
but Jalen, his form is not bad. He like it's gonna.
That's
grow.
what they say. That's what they say. Like his form is so pure that like it'll get better. But I want to see it first. There's a lot of guys with bad form or good form. I didn't see the ball go through the hoop. So I never thought Paolo was going to be some like generational talent. I thought it was a weak draft in general. I think he'll be a good player, but I just never thought like. With Dwight, we kind of expected, he's going to kind of be a generational type of guy. His defense was hyped up in high school, if they did come straight out of high school. But with Paolo, I just thought he was going to be a good player, could get you 20 points. I don't think he'll ever be the number one option on a championship team so far as what I've seen.
But Jalen, you didn't think he would give you 20 points this early, though? Especially if you thought he was overhyped.
True. Yeah. Even in college, because big thing in college was with him, though, was like a laziness and a motor thing. There would be times at Duke, he would just stand in the corner and just let other guys do his thing. Like he was just not playing hard all the time. He would take plays off. That was the big thing.
To be fair, though, to be fair, this is why I say college is a coaching league more than the players' league. You have to also realize like players don't have the freedom to really do what they want to do compared to the NBA coming into the league. And the thing with Paolo also is like Paolo, I thought he was going to be a 20-point per game guy coming into the league. I actually kind of overrated him a little bit coming into the league. How good he was going to be. I thought he was going to be like all-star coming into the league, which don't forget the beginning of the season, he low-key was. He came out the gates crazy. The problem, honestly, with Paolo, though, the reason I thought that was because of his size. Paolo's a big guy, like he has what is he, like 6'8"?
6'9",
6'10",
6'10", 6'10", yeah.
6'10" to me. He got 6'10", 240.
Yeah, it's like the guy is huge. Pause, but like he's but
we gotta start with all this pasta. We grow
real, right?
That was crazy. I'm sorry.
We also gotta be better. We also gotta be better too, though, Jalen.
Keep going, Mustard. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying, like his length and size, I definitely thought aided him, bro. Bro, I'm sorry.
My focus, Ron. No, I got you. But don't say huge. Don't say the dude is huge and then pause it, and then the next line you say is his length and size.
Okay,
now you just playing with us.
His build better. His build was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely thought coming to the league that was going to be an advantage, and he used it. Now I ain't gonna lie, his shooting at the end of the year. Right. Damn, that was bad, but still, I think the potential as a jump shooter, it's gonna grow.
Two things, Mustard. Number one, college is a coaching league. However, players are able to do their thing. The reason why players are able to do their thing because with coaches, they got to keep that pipeline open. So if Mustard is from Houston and you're one of the best players in the country, and you go to Houston and you're one of the best players in the country from whatever high school you go to, well, we got to keep that pipeline open. So they got to make it work at the University of Houston, as opposed to if you go to, I don't know, let's say you go to Boston College. Well, it's not really that big of a deal you playing up in Boston because we don't really have a pipeline up there. If you from the Northeast and you play at Boston College and you from a big-time program, they got to keep that pipeline going, which means they got to turn you loose. They got to let you do your thing because these coaches, they need to keep their jobs. So the idea that Paolo, who is from Seattle, now, don't get me wrong. Didn't he go to where did he go to school? I think Oak Hill or something like that.
No,
Paolo.
He went to O'Day.
Okay, so with that being said, you have to keep that pipeline open, and it's more prevalent in places where you're local as opposed to nationally. Now, a coach like the coach that at Duke, he ain't Coach K, so he ain't international yet. So he's got to get what he can get when he could get it. Right. So Coach K was able to coach this kid, and he was able to stay international or national. Now, this coach at Duke, the players that he gets, he's got to keep that pipeline open. So he has to be able to get players and make it work immediately. Otherwise, that pipeline's going to get closed on him real quick. So the idea that coaches, I mean, it's a coaching league. It is, but they have to work with these players and make it work.
Yeah, I agree. And Jalen, you said that you didn't think this draft was good. I thought this was a good draft. 22, right? Like, I thought it was a good draft.
I thought out of college going to be a weak draft. Again, they're still young. I just think it's going to be a weak draft in general. But I mean, we could judge that in 3 to 5 years.
What makes a draft weak?
I didn't think there'd be many superstars, even with, like, let's say Chet. Again, going to be there's no like
star power.
Yeah, the star power. Just
I think it's a very deep draft, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 1 or 2 long-term stars in the league.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like even like outside the lottery, you got like AJ Griffin, Tari, Walker Kessler, like really good players. I think that could be really solid.
I still think Shaden Sharp is the third.
You think he's going to be the best?
Paolo and Chet, I don't know. After those two, I got Shaden as.
I don't know. Shaden, I won't lie. Like, I watched some of Shaden this year, especially like towards the end when he was like going crazy. But I don't know. I got to see a little bit more because at the end, teams were tanking, so I can't.
I want to stay on this draft for a second, Mars, because you brought up what makes a weak draft. So, Mars, in your assessment, Paolo, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being a franchise player, being one of the best ever, to 1 being whack, where is Paolo? Is he a star? Is he a superstar? Is he a generational talent?
He's an 8.5. He's he's an all NBA player, but not perennial first team all NBA. But he'll be a consistent top 15 player in the NBA.
How about Chet?
At his ceiling?
Yes.
Oh, we're doing at their ceilings.
No, we're talking about these guys as you see today, right? If you see this guy today, what are you looking at in the future with this guy?
No. What I'm asking is,
we're talking about weak.
So what I think will happen, or what the best case scenario?
Best case scenario, or what you think will happen?
Oh, what I think will happen. Perennial defensive player of the year candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Also a top 15 player in the NBA year in, year out.
Jabari Smith.
Otto Porter Jr.
Keegan Murray.
Fringe all-star for a while. That's what he'll be.
Ivy. I think he's an all-star at minimum, Mars.
I think he'll be an all-star, but I'm trying to think, do I think he'll be a perennial all-star? I don't know.
Definitely.
I'll say an all-star who makes it occasionally, but not year in, year out. That's
right. So like maybe every other year, every 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, something like he'll end up being like a 4 or 5 time all-star. That type of
Matherin.
Scoring punch, never really gonna be an all-star, kind of like in the CJ McCollum tier. Just everyone knows how good he is, but he's just never gonna be good enough to make an all-star team.
Shaden. Now you big on him.
Perennial all-star. Top 20 player in the NBA, top 5 shooting guard in the league.
But that's real high on Shaden. I mean, he's Canadian, so I'm all
Wait, so you gave Paolo 8.5. I'm assuming Shaden's like what, 9?
Top 5 shooting guard in the league, top 20 player. He's also like an 8.5. Same thing. Paolo will be top 15 in the league. So
you don't think the gap is gonna be?
Nah, it won't be. It won't be.
Okay.
Dyson Daniels.
All defensive caliber point guards. Has the potential to be what Lonzo Ball was before the injury. Has the potential to be that.
That hurts.
And the reason why I'm running this down, Mars, because you're talking about a weak draft, right? And when you have a big time draft like 84, like 96, like 2003, how many great players do you actually get out of that draft? And in addition to great players, how many good players do you get? So if you got a 29 team league, you lucky if half these dudes pan out. You're lucky if half of these dudes pan out. So with this draft here, of the 8 guys that you told me, or of the 8 guys you told me, 7 of them are at minimum all-stars or fringe all-star. Matherin is a fringe all-star. He might be an all-star. But in Jabari Smith, I think he's going to be an all-star at some point and an all-league defender at some point. That's just me.
I hope you're right.
But guys like Sokan, right? Johnny Davis, Deang. I'm a big Mark Williams fan. I think the Knicks screwed up passing on him.
Jalen Duren is in this draft.
Jalen Duren is in this.
AJ Griffin. I think AJ Griffin is going to be really good.
Tari Eason is in this draft. Walker Kessler, who this is a Magic episode, so I don't want to hate on Paolo. Walker Kessler was my rookie of the year, but that's neither here nor there. So Walker Kessler is another great player. I like Marjon Beauchamp in Milwaukee. I like him a lot. Nikola Jovic seems to be doing whatever he's doing in FIBA. He might come and be a good player for Miami.
Like the draft,
Portland.
The kid from Utah that went to Kansas. I can't say his name.
Agbaji.
Ochai.
Say it one more time, Mars.
Ochai Agbaji.
Agbaji. Okay, that's him. Yeah. Right. So we got
Jalen Williams. Somebody in the chat said that as well.
Jalen Williams, I think, could end up being the best player. Not after Banchero, I think he could be the best player in this draft. That's
Jalen Williams.
Oh, okay. You're crazy.
I got Jalen Williams ahead of Shaden Sharp. I got Jalen Williams ahead of Chet too. Give Jalen Williams a couple years.
What do you see? On his team, he's going to be better than the guy that was drafted.
I'm not even going to lie. I'm not trying to be mean.
I like J-Dub. I need to know what you see.
I don't see a lot of weaknesses in
this game. No disrespect to J-Dub. I think he's a good player.
What weakness does he have in his game?
No. Don't get me wrong, but he's not great at any of those things.
Yeah, I agree. He's great. He's very good all around. But what does he do that? Check the defense, the rim protection. It stands out. Paolo Banchero's ability to create shots and get his own bucket stands out.
Look,
Jabari Smith, I'll give you. Jabari Smith, cool.
And mind you,
Keegan Murray shoots at an elite level. Jaden Ivey, elite level athlete. Shaden Sharp, elite level athlete. Dyson Daniels, you can see the defense. Jalen Williams, what do you see?
Jalen Williams, I see as a shooter, he's a good shooter. I wouldn't say elite level, but good shooter.
Not much volume though.
I think that's what I'm saying. But if he was given the amount of usage that a guy like Paolo was given, I think
but Jalen, that's Jalen. No,
you can't. You don't just get given usage. You don't just get given usage.
He benefited playing off of Shea and Giddy.
Josh Giddy, right?
You can say that definitely helps. But I think as him, if he can surpass Giddy as,
and also he started off the season horrible. That's another thing. He got better as the season went on.
He's a rookie. He got better.
That's what happens with rookies.
I don't think he has that high of a ceiling, and I'm not trying to be mean. I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't think his ceiling is
if you passing on Shaden Sharp.
I don't think he's all say either, Mars.
If you passing on Shaden Sharp for Jalen Williams, you might get fired as a GM.
I think as a passer too. Again, it's just like he's not asked to that, but whenever he has the ball in his hands, he's making incredibly smart passes. I think as a playmaker, he's right up there with Giddy. I think he can clearly be the number
as a playmaker.
Yes, I'm telling you, Giddy just has the ball more in his hands, and he's asked to do more. But this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Williams takes another step and maybe surpasses Giddy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he plateaus. But
yeah,
I like.
He's gonna start game planning for him a lot more, bro.
I like Jalen Williams coming out of Santa Clara because I like the way he operated in the pick and roll. I like the poise. I do agree that he's very poised. He makes smart decisions, but a lack of athleticism, the lack of any really elite skills. I don't see all-star. I see someone who can be a very valuable piece to a very great team. And every team needs that. Getting that at 12 in the draft, extremely valuable. I just don't think he has the second highest ceiling in the draft. Me personally.
And I ain't gonna lie. OKC, they're really, and I'm not saying they're going to run the league like Golden State, but like, the amount of young guys they got, man.
They set up to do something special. They look like they're on their way to doing something special.
Because they're all going to be under contract. They can go over the bird rights for all of them. Now, I know OKC's pretty cheap, so maybe they're probably going to lose one or two of those players. But, man.
The rook from Kansas, too, Mars, he in that draft. Christian Brown, he was in that draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in that draft.
Oh, the one in Denver, right?
In Denver. The reason why I brought this up is because, again, we're talking about Paolo, who's on the Orlando Magic, and this team is getting better. So what does this say about him being in this draft, which is as deep as it is? Because it sounds to me like it's a bunch of good players in this draft. This draft doesn't sound like, I don't know, 2012 with Cody Zeller and who am I thinking of? Victor Oladipo. This ain't that draft.
Hey, not too much on my guy Oladipo. Not too much.
2013, but yeah.
That draft was not as bad as people say.
It's because Anthony Bennett went number 1.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah.
Their best players were later in the draft. Like Rudy was 27, Giannis was 15. And they're probably the 2 best players to come out of the draft class. So I mean,
that classifies a bad draft, though. If the whole lottery misses, it's kind of like, yo, that was a bad draft.
The entire lottery.
I'd have to go back and look at the draft to know.
CJ was 10.
But the worst draft of the last 10 years, I'd have to go back. I don't know.
I think it's definitely the worst draft of the last 10 years.
2015,
2013.
2013.
What was 2015? Was that the?
That was
Cat, D'Lo, Okafor, Porzingis, Devin Booker.
Yeah, that was a good draft.
Yeah, I remember that.
2014 had Jokic and Embiid.
Was that the one that like Okafor got taken before Porzingis, right?
Yeah,
must have.
Man,
the
that everyone would have done.
Oladipo.
No. Okafor was nice. Yeah.
Otto Porter, Cody Zeller, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, Ben McLemore, KCP, Trey Burke, CJ McCullough, Michael Carter-Williams, Steven Adams, Kelly O.
Shabazz Muhammad, who lied about his age.
God, what are we talking about?
That was him.
I know this draft off the back of my hand because I played the NBA 2K14 my career too many times to count. So I've gone through this.
I remember my career, the Anthony Bennett reaction. They added it to 2K. That's
why I'm thinking about this draft. That's why I'm thinking about Paolo and what does this say about him? Because I think Paolo is Antoine Walker, except a better athlete. That's what he looked like to me when I watch him play.
I like that comparison better than Melo. Antoine Walker.
So you think he's a shot chucker? You think Paolo's a shot
I'm about to say that's not good. I don't want that to happen for him.
But I mean, if he ain't a shot chucker, I mean, Carmelo. If you compare him to Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo Anthony took 13 shots a game. I mean,
Antoine Walker shot chucker.
Anthony.
Melo's way more efficient than Antoine Walker, though.
And I, in terms of his body type, that's what he looked like to me. He looked like Antoine Walker, except a better athlete. His skill set is similar to Antoine Walker. He could get a bucket on anybody. And like I just said, a bit of 6'9". He's really versatile. And he looks like he could be a franchise player, which is why when we brought the draft up, I'm thinking about the draft thinking, well, if this guy is the best of all of these guys, what does that say about him?
I think that's a good thing. I think Paolo, maybe I'm higher on Paolo, but I do think that Chet, I know he hasn't played yet. The ceiling, I think he has the highest ceiling out of everybody in this draft. Like, I'm not going to say it's not even close because, Paolo with that build, I definitely think there's a high ceiling there. But Chet, man, the build that he has is just,
I get roasted.
It's insane.
I think he's Sean Bradley with a better handle in the jump shot. That's what
Sean Bradley. Come on.
Yeah, now we're just being a little disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
If only Chet was black, man, he would have got Manute Bol.
Manute Bol.
Yo, Ticket. Chime in on everything we've been talking about. What I know it's something that you possibly agree with, and I know it's something that you possibly disagree with. How do you feel about what we've been saying? We've covered a lot, but let's hear your thoughts.
What's up, Playboy?
Yeah.
I agree with what Chill was saying. About Chet. I think he's Sean Bradley. Got a little bit of ball handler skills, and he got a good shot. I don't think he's going to be too effective. I disagree with what Mustard was talking about. I heard Mustard saying that he thought that that Paolo was going to be an all-star coming in the NBA. I don't know where he found that out. I totally disagree with what the brother said on that. Respectfully, I disagree with what he said on that. I don't think anybody's seen Paolo being an all-star because, I mean, in my opinion, if you think he would be an all-star coming out the box, that means he would have to be one of the all-time great players in the game, in the history of the game, which I don't think that he will be, even though I think he is a good player, very good player. I just don't think he's that. That would be levels of, guys like LeBron and those levels like that. And I don't even think LeBron made the All-Star team his first year in the NBA.
No, he didn't.
Blake Griffin did.
Yeah, but Blake Griffin was in year
Blake
two,
Griffin
but
did.
technically year one.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think of a guy who made it in year one.
Did Ben Simmons make it his first year?
No.
Plenty
And
of
Ben Simmons also missed his first year.
Magic or
number one overall picks, Magic.
Yeah, Magic and Bird.
But to be fair, Paolo, when he walked in, like, I want to, obviously he didn't do it,
Jordan.
but like for the first month of the season, Paolo was an all-star. Like he was going crazy, and then he slowed down like midway through the year.
He had like a shoulder injury that someone told me about. He had a shoulder injury and he was
a shoulder injury,
and that's why he ended up shooting at 7% from 3. That's how I've been told.
So I got a shoulder injury, but I'm gonna still keep chucking threes. That's what I'm saying, Mars. Give me a break.
I mean, if he's open, if he's open, you know, it's not like he's just taking step back threes from 30 feet. He's taking open threes. He's just not making them. And then at All-Star Weekend, they were doing that rookie. They were doing that rookie like skills challenge thing. He couldn't make a 3 to save his life. But yeah,
no, the answer must. I don't think he had a legit chance at winning of being an all-star. I think they would have had to win games for him to be an all-star, especially with all the guys that was in front of him. So that would have been a big task for him to be an all-star as a rookie, unless they just came out like game busters and was winning a whole bunch of games, especially with the way voting goes, and then with the guys you're gonna got coming off the bench. You know, I don't think that was realistic. But again, man, and then you said one thing about, I will address what you said about Chet. I don't think he is the biggest prospect. I don't think he's bigger than Wemby. Wemby's the biggest prospect probably in NBA.
Oh, no, I was talking about in the draft. I'm talking about in his draft, he had the highest ceiling.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this year. Okay, my bad. Okay, I got you. All right, bet.
Yeah, Wemby clears.
Yeah, Wemby is.
Yeah. Big Wamo, what's good?
Pass that.
What up? How y'all doing, man? Listen, I'm sorry I'm late.
Past that?
Doma being late to a young team episode is crazy, but it's fine.
Yeah, man.
Super wow. Super wow.
Sorry I'm late, man. Had my dates mixed up with some stuff I had going on, but it's all good, man. I'm not gonna miss the opportunity to talk about these young players that need this type of attention. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Dom, you giving up on the Magic if they let go of Bol Bol though?
No, never.
You were a Bol Bol believer?
Oh yeah, you know Damo love Bol Bol.
Mars, I guarantee you, like out of all the players
you're a big man analysis. Hey, oh my, I'm praying you're right about Jalen Duren.
Dom, you gotta let that go.
Jalen Duren might be the only big you've ever been right about. I'm gonna be honest. That's
not true. Because I'm about to be right about Chet. Just wait on it. Chet phenomenal.
Bol Bol's gonna be out the league by the end of the season, dog.
Yes.
He's gonna be out the league.
Two makes.
Chet's gonna be a hit. So that's going to be fine. I'm trying to think of other big man prospects. I was like super high.
Walker Kessler, we high on him?
I was high on James. I was high on James.
You were high on Wiseman.
Weren't you high on James Wiseman? Ain't even.
Yes, I was high on James Wiseman.
I was about to say, I remember you was high on James Wiseman.
My God. I was too. I ain't gonna lie. I was high on James.
I'm still high on James.
I ain't out on him. I'm not out on James.
Bro, James Wiseman is about to be out the league. Why are you lying to yourself?
Nope. No, he is not.
That's wild.
That's not true.
Out the league.
I think he's too young to be out the league. I think teams are going to keep getting.
No, he'll get opportunities, but within the next like 3, 4, 5 years, I think he's gonna be out the league.
How long did it take? How long did it take somebody like?
I don't like that nigga, man. He sucks, bro.
How long did it take somebody like Mitchell Robinson to get acclimated to the NBA? 2 years?
Yeah. I think about
some would say he played that much in his rookie
year.
Some would say he's still not.
He played his rookie year, but I don't know if
he didn't play that much though.
His second year, he had a solid impact, right? Didn't they go to the playoffs and he played all right? No, I don't think they went to the playoffs, but he played. He played pretty good though.
That was like a third year, I believe.
He showed like some promise on the defensive end. He was blocking a lot of shots, and I think he was catching some pretty good alley oops and stuff like that. So we started to be like, oh, Mitchell, he'll be all right. He's gonna be a good player. I think that was his second year.
Yeah, he always came in blocking shots. He had the Jaren Jackson issue of he can't stay on the floor because he's fouling everyone.
Yeah,
he's still
and he got hurt a lot too. He got hurt a lot too.
I don't like how Mars is trying to come at my draft analysis on big man. Let me check these drafts and see.
I'm gonna be honest. You played big. I don't know what it is. You can't identify.
You've been kind of whack on the big fella, Damo.
What do you mean whack on the big fella?
You've been kind of whack on the big fella. I ain't saying completely, but
the only ones that are gonna hit is Jalen.
I don't know why you still glossing over the Bol Bol. Bol Bol sucks.
I'm not glazing Bol Bol. I just think Bol Bol did not
get a fair shot. He is not whack.
He got a fair shot. He's trash, man. What?
Bro, Mustard, let's not do
this.
He's
too slow. He's too slow to be in the league.
What do you mean too slow? Man, Boban Marjanovic is in the league. Don't tell me he's too slow. He's not
Boban doesn't play.
Boban doesn't play.
He's still in the league.
And Boban
play. He doesn't play.
Boban got leadership and character.
Yeah, he's there for the intangibles.
He's a veteran, dog. He's a veteran.
Bol Bol's highlights look nice because he's real tall and has a skill set. He can dribble and shoot, but he's just too slow. He's just too slow.
This is getting real prejudice.
Was you one of the ones that was like, what's the difference between Bol Bol and Wembanyama?
No, I was not. I was never one those people. I understood.
Or what about Chet? Did you say that between Bol Bol and Chet?
I said before Chet got drafted. I said Chet and Wemby are going to be the next evolutions in for the big men going forward. So it's going to be Chet and then Wemby. Chet's going to be right below Wemby. But right now, thinking about how Wemby's going to play, I'm thinking Wemby's going to be the coming up the court with the ball at the time. Like I'm thinking I'm going to see him how he was when he was playing in the French league. Now understanding that he's definitely going to play more of a limited role as a big, I genuinely think they're going to be on the same level, at least for the first couple years of their career. Now, Wemby might take this astronomical leap to make him the all-time great player that everyone assumes he's going to be because of the great prospect that he is. But the first 3 years of their career, they're going to be Kobe Carmelo type of comparable for the first 3 years of their career. But
Kobe Carmelo.
I want to come back.
Carmelo. You mean LeBron?
I said Bron and
Kobe.
Carmelo.
You said
Kobe.
Kobe.
I said LeBron and Carmelo. I'm sorry.
I mean, even LeBron and Melo, it was never comparable.
I'm trying to think, but no.
As
rookies, it was never comparable.
As
rookies, rookies, yes, but he said first 3 years of their career.
Okay. Hey, Mustard, can I ask you a question?
Okay. Yeah.
What's up?
Rookies, though.
Hey, you said something about that struck me a little bit. You said something about you thought that the big fella was getting ready to be out of the league.
Wiseman.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that JaVale McGee had a successful career in the NBA?
I mean, yeah, I thought so for what he was. Yeah.
What was he?
Yeah.
Just like a decent, rotation piece. Nice little bench player for the Warriors when he was there. But he's also a much better athlete, in my opinion, than James Wiseman is. Wiseman. The thing with Wiseman. Go ahead. My bad.
No, I was saying I asked you that because if Wiseman does more, well, you said he's about to be out the league. You said maybe 4 or 5 years. Well, that probably would mean he had a 7 or 8 year NBA career, which is longer than most people have an NBA career. So that would mean that he had a successful career to be in the league. Yeah, he had a successful tenure to be in the league that long. So I don't think that his career could be defined, or he could be defined as a bum, or however you said, a failure. And I also think if you look at it as just his numbers, which is what we do with a lot of players sometimes when we evaluating just their careers and looking at the production, a lot of us go back and look at their numbers, and then we look at what they brought to the game as far as their skill set. I don't think that he has been able to actually play his game yet, but I think that his numbers, if he had a team that actually played his style of basketball, I think that his numbers would have more of an impact on the game. So I disagree with what you said about that, about him just being trash like that. When you and guys like Mars and you guys give takes like that, I disagree with that. I just think that sometimes it's about situation.
Mars,
you know
I have
a question.
It's not as empty as you think it is.
I have a question.
17 games in Detroit. It's not as empty as you think it is.
I have
he didn't even end up averaging 17. It was like 12.
He didn't have 17. It was like 12. Yeah, but
12 wasn't empty either.
17
games.
But wait, chilling. I have a question then. Was Kwame Brown's career a success?
Yes.
Was Clint Capella's career a success?
He hates on LeBron now.
So do y'all think that where you're drafted, shouldn't that dictate your expectations?
Oh, it definitely matters. 100% it matters where you drafted at. No question about that.
And I'll say this, for the average player, he's a success. What'd you say?
I don't put much stock on where you're drafted because James Wiseman didn't tell Golden State to pick him number 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
my expectations are independent from where you get picked.
So what were your expectations?
Anthony Bennett was a bust because he was
no. But where were your expectations? What were your expectations for Wiseman coming in the league then, Mars?
He wasn't going to be good.
You thought he would be this bad?
Great or just
I didn't think he'd be this bad.
Because he played in Golden State.
I thought
because he played in Golden State. My question to you, Mars, is because he got drafted in Golden State, or no matter who he played for, he was just going to be whack.
My reasoning was coming in after playing 3 games in college and having the flaws I'd seen in his game. There was no way he was going to be impactful coming in. Mm-hmm. My thing with James Wiseman was, if you're going to take him high, he's long term. You have to invest in him for the long term. He's not going to bring you any value.
You had him as a project. Okay.
And that's why Golden State picking him made no sense to me. That's why I didn't think Golden State should have picked him, because they didn't have the time to invest in this project. So I don't know why they did it, but I also don't blame him for not being good, because I didn't think he was going to be good. The issue was he was actually playing when he shouldn't have been playing. So I had to call him trash because he was on the floor.
He also got hurt as well. That injury also
and that got Golden State a championship. So where do we go from here? But he shouldn't have been playing, but he was playing. So I had to call him trash because he was out there. But I knew he was going to be trash anyway because I didn't think coming in after 3 games of college with his basketball IQ not being at the level it needed to be, him not understanding high-level defenses, his athleticism being in a world where he can jump high, he can run fast, but laterally he moves terribly.
Slow as hell. Yeah.
Like, I knew it wasn't going to work straight away. I still think in Detroit, I'm not saying he's out of the league because I think there's potential with him. It's just whether or not Detroit are going to invest.
I don't like the fact that Detroit.
I believe they might, but with Jalen Duren there and maybe however they feel about Isaiah Stewart and Marvin Bagley, I don't know if they're really going to invest in him. If they do, I see the future, but I still think he's going to be bad this year. I think he's still maybe 2 years away. So
I don't like the fact that they traded for him and then they benched Jalen Duren like that. That I don't even understand that.
Have been a backup big. That's literally what he's going to be. He's going to be the backup big.
Duren.
No, Wiseman.
No, but they benched Duren as soon as
they realized that was a mistake. They realized that was a mistake. They still
are the Pistons. They still are.
They've realized that was a mistake.
No, man, the Pistons have ruined a lot of players. I don't know, man.
Jalen Duren won't be one of them, and James Wiseman. I feel like if anything, the Pistons, if they're smart, they'll trade Isaiah Stewart. Try to get some depth or assets or a combination of both, and just have James Wiseman as the backup center. That's the best option for him. Marvin Bagley, I'm like indifferent on Marvin Bagley, so I don't know what you want to do there at the 4 position with Marvin Bagley. But in terms of centers, I think as long as both of those guys are I know Jalen Duren's going to be comfortable being the star big man on the team, but as long as James Wiseman is comfortable getting valuable minutes off the bench and playing his role, I think he's in a good situation for him, to be honest. Unless he wakes up and wants to be a star. Unless he wakes up and wants to be the starting center on a team and he wants to win now and be a contributing factor on a winning team. Unless he wakes up with that intention, I think he's in a great situation for himself.
I think he was on his way, man, with Draymond schooling him and Draymond having him where he had him. I think he was on his way. Don't get me wrong.
Was scolding that man.
So what? He was
no, I agree.
He needed that.
Yeah.
And it looked to me,
it was just funny.
I think he was averaging something like 11-6 as a rook, and he didn't know the pro game and something like that. He was averaging something like 11-6, and he didn't know rotations. Draymond Green was constantly
in NBA history.
Well, it's not necessarily.
He can't even set screens, Chill.
This is what I'm saying. I want to take the 11-6, even though I did bring up the 11-6. I want to take that off the table more than Draymond scolding him on where he needed to be in rotations, how to rebound. Mars, I get your idea that it was a project, 100%. But these guys are still together. They're still together, and with them still being together, I think that him getting injured is what really screwed him up. Because I think that he would have continued to get it. I just feel like he would have. I think eventually he would have gotten it, and it would have gotten better. I just didn't like the play style of what Golden State and him were together. That play style was that play style was the problem, because he's one of those big men. He's not a transition big man like that where you stop and pop. No, that's not his game. That's not who he is.
No, transition is where he's best. Just run to the rim and catch it.
Now, run to the rim is different, Mars, as opposed to stop and pop, which is what Golden State did. They'll have they got Draymond to pass. But in today's game, for a guy like you, for a guy like James Wiseman to open your eyes, he's got to be more of that. Because if he's just a rim runner, which is what Clint Capella is, at the number 2 pick, that's how you'll be looking at him, Mars. And you don't like that.
Golden State, once again, my expectations, number 2 pick, irrelevant. I just want someone to be good wherever they're picked. You pick someone at 50 and they're good, great. You pick someone at 2 and they're good, great.
Right.
James Wiseman, I don't know how much we were watching of the Warriors 21 season. James Wiseman, when he was playing, the first play of the game, every game was drawn up for James Wiseman. Every single game, they drew out for James Wiseman. Whether it was a pick and roll to get a dunk at the rim or it was a jump shot. You can go watch these games. Every single game, the first play was drawn up for him. When he was in the half court, they weren't asking him to be a dribble handoff playmaker. No, they asked him to set screens and roll. He couldn't set a screen. He couldn't roll. He didn't know what he was doing. Then when he did get the ball, he couldn't catch the ball consistently. And then he couldn't make any extra decisions. So if he got the ball, he was going to end up going with some dumb left-handed jump hook that we're going to miss.
Afraid of contact.
And he can make a spot up. He can make a spot up mid-range jump shot. I give him praise for that. He has good shooting touch. There's potential. but he couldn't play defense. He couldn't rebound. He couldn't set screens. He couldn't roll to the rim. He couldn't catch the ball. He didn't know where to be. He was just bad. And to the person who said, stop calling NBA players trash, of course, they're better than all of us. James Wiseman would cook everyone up here 11-0 with his eyes
for yourself.
But compared to NBA players,
James Wiseman bust your ass.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll bust his ass too.
James Wiseman will bust your ass.
And I'll bust his ass too.
But anyway,
compared to NBA players, he is trash. Compared to NBA players, Killian Hayes is trash. They're still better than 99.99999% of the population. So I just want to put that out there. If you can't figure out what I mean when I say these players are trash, that's what I mean. So you can stop complaining. But James Wiseman couldn't do anything good other than hit a spot at mid-range jump shot and occasionally catch lobs when he caught the ball.
I was just going to say, when it came to James Wiseman, at one point in time, honestly, up until this summer, I genuinely believed everything Mars was saying when it came to James Wiseman. But after watching Steve Kerr not be able to coach anybody over the height of 6'10", I genuinely think
Steve Kerr
this was honestly Steve Kerr tax. He's a terrorist, and James Wiseman was set up from the start. He was not in a good situation for an actual center. I blame Steve Kerr. Any deficiencies you've seen in James Wiseman while he was a Warrior, I hear today, and they don't count. They genuinely don't count. You have to watch those 45 games he played in Detroit to have a real analytical approach to James Wiseman. Other than that time, I literally look at that time that he was in the Warriors, just like I look at the time that Bol Bol was on the Nuggets. It doesn't matter. He wasn't being used right. He didn't get a real opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
So Mike Malone can't coach Bigs either.
I'm not saying Mike Malone can't coach Bigs. All I'm saying is in Denver, there's no way you're telling me Bol Bol got a legitimate shot to develop on the court and to actually play. No, he didn't. There's no way you're telling me 12.
Damo, he's in practice getting his ass bucked.
Do you think there's a reason he was getting DMPs, or you think it was just an agenda?
You think they were just being mean?
No. I genuinely think that Bol Bol was in a situation where he wanted to play. He already slid to the second round of the draft, so he had a janky ass attitude. If anything, I think his attitude and the way he approached that situation in Denver probably cost him. Honestly, I genuinely had a janky ass attitude because he wasn't getting ticked and he thought he deserved to play.
Dom, did you see those garbage minutes? You saw some of the garbage minutes he was playing in Denver, right?
I seen the 22 minutes a game he played for 70 games in Orlando, and I seen
Dom, I'm asking you about his time in Denver. Did you see the garbage time?
What he did in Denver because he was used wrong.
Bol Bol doesn't play. His
play style is not efficient enough. 5 minutes for 2 years. 5 minutes a game for 2 years. And 12 minutes his first season.
So you think that in practice he was good? Was he good? Do you think he was good in practice, Dom?
I don't know what he was in practice.
He's getting his ass busted.
Hold on. I need everybody
to probably killing him in practice.
Mustard, you're not in NBA. I'm about to pull a ticket. You're not in NBA practices. And when I listen to NBA players talk about how practices go, I've heard a plethora of NBA players talk about.
I mean, you heard what Gilbert Arenas said? What's Gilbert Arenas said then?
Honestly, if I'm going to listen to a guy that condemns Hakeem Olajuwon's post game and say, "Oh, yo, I'm like, get the fuck out of here." But genuinely, I've heard NBA players.
That was crazy.
I've heard NBA players talk about how young guys in practice be busting ass, but because you have a guy that the team wants to play, whether it's because of contract, whether it's because of whatever the situation is, they want this guy to play. He still plays. Even Gilbert Arenas himself said his first year in the league, he was busting ass in practice. But guess what? He was a second-round pick that was deemed with a bad attitude off the bench, so guys still got opportunities over.
But he earned his spots.
Because someone got hurt, Mustard. How did you earn that? He was on the bench. Someone got hurt in front of him. Then he earned it when he got on the court. What I'm saying with Bol Bol, to sit there and say, "Oh, you think he wasn't getting his ass busted in practice?" I don't know what the fuck was going on in practice. But I do know in plenty of situations there are young guys that do work in practice and they still don't get opportunity to play. Just like there's young guys that get their ass busted in practice and still don't get opportunity to play.
Still making assumptions. You're still assuming that he
was.
No.
I'm not assuming.
Both of you. Mustard, you're assuming he was getting cooked in practice. Domo is just saying he knows there's situations where young players don't get a fair shot regardless of what happens in practice.
And I'm telling
you, either way, none of us know what actually happens in
Orlando.
Let's talk about what actually happens on the floor.
What happened is when he went to Orlando, he sucked. He was trash in Orlando.
He was trash.
Dom, he was bad. He was bad. He had a nice little 20 first games, even though it was really just empty stats. But he had a decent little 20 plus games. And then he went to being shit. He was trash. He can't set screens well.
Like why wasn't he? If you look at that Orlando crew, why wasn't he not just in the rotation? Why wasn't he starting on that crew?
I think he started initially.
He's not better than Waddell.
Because Bobo has the syndrome that I have on 2K, where if he gets the ball,
he wants
going up towards the rim. It's going up towards the rim.
So he don't do nothing else but shoot, Mars. He ain't passing.
He doesn't pass the ball.
He's a black hole.
He doesn't do anything without the ball. He's just standing there. He can't set a screen because he's 7'1", 110. Like, so there's no.
He ain't doing nothing else. That's garbage, Damo. That's garbage.
And when it comes to rim protection, he can get a sneak help side block, but even then his rim protection isn't very great. He doesn't help actually protect the rim and alter many shots. He's going to block it or it's an easy finish. His rebounding isn't very good. He doesn't score around the rim as well as you'd expect for someone that size because of his lack of strength. He doesn't put the ball on the floor as well as he thinks he does, which is another problem he has. And so at this point, you just have someone on offense who thinks they're a superstar, isn't able to perform like one, but wants to have all the opportunity of a superstar. And
but he can go coast to coast, Mars. But Mars, he can go coast to coast.
I'm not saying
you think that. I'm saying he plays like that.
This is the crazy part. Listening to Mustard talk about how I feel about Bol Bol is crazy because he doesn't know how I fucking feel about Bol Bol. You would assume I'm sitting here saying, no.
Damo, how do you feel about Bol Bol? How about that, Damo?
I think Bol Bol is a serviceable role player on any basketball team. I think Bol Bol should be in the NBA. I think he's an NBA player. I don't think he's Killian Hayes. I don't think he should be saying ni hao. Learn your Chinese, buddy. I don't think any of that. Bol Bol, but I'm not sitting here saying Bol Bol is about to be the face of the league. I'm not saying he should be out here playing 35 to 40 minutes a night. I'm just saying Bol Bol, from what I've seen, I think any team would want him on their bench being their backup 4 to 5, depending on who your 4 or 5 is. That's it. That's all I've said. Now, if you're going to sit here and say, oh my God, he's garbage, I disagree. Is he not as great as other bigs? Fine. I feel you. That's cool. I'm not sitting here saying he's a starter in the NBA. I'm not even saying that. He is a role player. I think he's a role player at best. That's it. I like him.
Can you tell me a serviceable big man role player who Bol Bol is better than?
A serviceable big man role player that Bol Bol is better than?
Yes.
James Wiseman. Boom. There we go.
Another trash nigga.
James Wiseman.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, so you don't think he's serviceable? That's fine. I think James Wiseman is another serviceable.
Dom, is he as good as Isaiah Hartenstein?
Please lie, right?
From the Knicks.
Be serious.
Please lie.
I just thought of a rant. Or boy,
Or how about this, Mustard?
I'm taking Mason Plumlee over Bol Bol.
Let him answer.
No. I won't take him over Hartenstein. I won't take him over.
Is he better than Plumlee? Is he better than Plumlee?
Plumlee's better.
Which one?
Clearly better.
Mason.
Mason's the one in the league right now, right?
Mason's in the Clippers.
Why don't we stay on his own crew? How about we stay on his own crew with the championship?
Let's go down these role player bigs. Give me another role player big. Somebody else.
How about we stay on his crew? How about Watanabe? Is he better than him?
Yes.
Yuta?
Yes.
Yuta?
Guard?
Yes. They play different positions though.
Yuta's at 6'7". He's like a 3-4.
Yuta's a better player than Bol.
6'9". Damn.
You asked me a question. I gave you an answer.
Is Bol Bol better than Jock Lando?
I think so. Yeah.
That's a mid off, but
I think so.
Respect Houston's $8 million signing. Thank you very much.
I think he's better than Landale.
I forgot he went to Houston.
Is he better than Drew Eubanks?
Yes.
Oh, what?
So he's gonna play over you.
You don't even know what hand Drew Eubanks shoot with. Mustard, stop it.
He should play with. Hey, Damo, he should play over Eubanks.
San Antonio.
I think he should play over Eubanks. Yes.
Is he?
I agree too.
I don't think Bol Bol can stay on an NBA floor. I think he'll get exposed defensively.
So what's a Kevin Durant and Bol Bol front court gonna look like?
Oh my God.
One, I was about to say
Bol Bol's not starting.
I would assume Bol Bol is going to be their backup 4. He's going to come in and relieve Kevin Durant.
Oh, he's the KD replacement. Oh no! Oh God, he's going to really think he's KD. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What about Dom?
Cool. We got KD 2.0. Let's go.
Because he's not
going to be better than old dude on Denver. Old dude on Denver. What's the backup big? The one that no. The one they got from the Lakers.
Thomas Bryant.
Yes.
Thomas Bryant. Is he better than Thomas Bryant?
Yes, he's better than Thomas Bryant.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too mad at that one. I'm not too mad.
I mean, I don't like Thomas Bryant, but I
Thomas Bryant a bum too.
He is trash, but I don't think he's better than him.
I'm about to say I'm pretty sure we can find a lot of bigs that would
better than Onyeka.
No.
I'm
taking.
Thank God. Thank God you did.
I'm being too disrespectful to these NBA players, calling them trash. Thomas Bryant's a good player. My fault, Thomas Bryant.
I'm not gonna sit here and be. I'm not gonna.
You sound like Dub, Mars.
Super biased or super.
Yeah, I'm bringing too much negative energy.
I mean, but these are the
like
real backup big. Nas Reed, he's not better than Nas Reed.
I don't think he's better than Nas Reed. No.
I mean, Nas Reed is the best backup big in the league.
No, that's what I'm saying. But these are the backup bigs with Hardenstein, Plumlee.
Okay, Drew Eubanks, I said yes, so that's one team. Jock Landale, I said yes, that's two teams right there. All I said was he deserves to be a backup big for any team in the NBA.
Landale,
that's two.
Exactly. I don't really care about him.
Thomas Bryant. That's
I'm not gonna lie, you guys are disrespecting Jock Landale. I'm gonna be honest.
I disrespect the hell out of Jock Landale all day.
Jock Landale, not Jack.
Jock, Jack, Jason, I don't care.
I care. 8 minutes.
Is he better than Willie Herman?
No, he's not.
Isn't he in Barcelona? Isn't he in Barcelona?
He's better than Bol Cruz's brother.
I don't know if he's in the league anymore. I don't even know.
I'll take her to Gomez over Bol Bol. I think Bol Bol will be out.
Someone said he's better than Dwight Powell.
I think he's better than Dwight Powell.
I think
I'm just a hater. I'm a hater on Dwight Powell. I'm a Dwight Powell hater.
I'm
also a Dwight Powell hater.
Ron, we in the grass on the freeway right now, Ron. We just flipped the divider. We in the grass now. I just want to let you know that.
How we get in the grass?
Is he better than Jalen Smith, Donald? Is he better than Jalen Smith?
Yeah,
chill. What put us in the grass?
Jalen Smith in Indiana. He's better than Jalen Smith.
Nah, Jalen Smith in Colorado. Yes, Jalen Smith in Indiana.
Nigga, you're tweeting.
Chris Boucher.
You must love your
all right, so hey, yo, we got to get back on the freeway, y'all. We got to get back on the freeway.
I'm loving some Bol Bol, bro.
We went down a whole Bol Bol rabbit hole. Let's get back centered. ZZ, what's good with you? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good. I just came into a bunch of chaos, bro. Over Bol Bol. We were talking about Bol Bol.
That's what I'm saying. We spent a good 10 minutes on Bol Bol. That's a lot of time on.
That's what the people are here for, man. It's the off season. Let's talk about these very bad NBA role players.
And
we can't talk about LeBron every day, man. Come on.
I've been watching the chat. I know it's the off season. Just because it's the off season, that's not why we're talking about the Magic. We're actually doing 30 teams in 30 days, and today is the Magic special day. With that being said, there's some exciting things to talk about the Magic. Some of you guys may be casuals and you might not want to talk about the Magic, but if you do know, the Magic have a good crop of young talent. We've talked about some of them so far. We'll definitely get into more about the Magic, our expectations on the Magic, not just this year, but into the future. They have a promising future. Some think, some may not think that, but we will see. Also, we'll get into our best young duos under 23 later on into the show. And I also have a special appearance from somebody that you guys know well. He'll be coming up here and he has an agenda to push as well. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do that, I got some super chats and we're going to go ahead and do this. Aramis Jones said, Paolo and Franz are the truth. I read that before, but
facts.
I think it was worth reading again. David Mujinaya said, y'all seen the Pat Bev pick?
What pick is that?
What?
Anybody?
I saw a pic of it, but I just thought he was like in the garden or something. I don't know if it was.
I haven't seen the Pat Bev pick. No,
I think
I've seen a Pat Bev was that Kevin Hart interview that he did. That's the only
maybe
thing
I don't. It looked like he was in front of a garden. Maybe it was like a weed thing. So I don't know, but
if anybody has the Pat Bev pick, DM one of us. Anybody up here, send that to us. We need to see that pick.
It depends on what kind of pick you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of.
Oh wait, Chad said he was picking cotton. What?
Picking cotton?
Yo,
crazy.
Man, that's insane.
I'm not surprised.
Wow. I got another super chat from, I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name, but he said, Mustard looking so majestic. Him and Mars twins for real.
Majestic.
Domo not part of the twin gang. Neither's
that's crazy.
We're just not a part of the Majestic gang.
No, you got a hoodie on, so automatic majesticness.
Got you. Okay. Alan R said L Dub.
Facts.
Crazy.
Random straight for dub.
Jordan Walker with the super chat said, who is the only player to win multiple chips without a top 75 teammate and was the finals MVP for those chips?
Oh, it's Kobe. It was Kobe. Right. Yeah, it was Kobe because he said "Am was the finals MVP," so Steph doesn't get to be in.
Yeah, Steph is not in it. Yeah, Steph's not in it.
Very smart of you, sir, to make sure Kobe was the only one applicable. Nice, good work.
As that crazy agenda push.
Yeah, and just so you know, and for the record, and just so we collect, well, Lajuan did it too, but he didn't do it.
No, Clyde Drexler was on that team.
Right. He came in the middle of the season.
You're cooked.
But it was Bean. Yeah, it was Bean.
Yeah, you're cooked.
Mm-hmm. Definitely me.
Big Storm said Ron not having a Magic fan on the show is crazy.
Who the hell is a
Nobody,
Magic fan?
I only know one Magic fan.
The Magic fan.
Yeah, I only know
why is everyone saying Tim Duncan? Tony Parker was the Finals MVP in 07. See, you guys aren't very intelligent, chat. You guys are
did Tony make that top 25?
No, he didn't. But Tony Parker was the Finals MVP, so Tim Duncan doesn't get to be a chat. You guys are cooked.
Bro,
see, it's too easy. That's why you guys don't belong up here.
And then the other first two, D-Rob was on him, right? So
yeah, exactly. D-Rob, and then 05 and 07, there was no top.
Even though low-key, that argument is so disgusting, bro. Oh man.
Hey man, they had to make sure Kobe was the only one it applied to, man.
God, so disgusting.
Push your agendas.
Vontae said, why does Steph get a pass for the 2016 finals? Any other top 5 player would be heavily criticized. I always hear the Draymond suspension, Bogut injury, etc., but he still had his second best player.
Yeah, and they had 3 games to win one, and 2 of those 3 games was on their home floor too. Don't leave that out.
I don't think anyone gives an excuse for blowing a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, no.
But I think what people do say is it's pretty obvious Golden State were banged up and Steph wasn't 100%. And my pushback is to the people who just say, oh, if they ran it back in 2017, the Cavs would have just smoked them. I think that's just dumb. I'm gonna be honest.
I agree with you.
I don't get how you go from losing that one possession to getting smoked.
Because my thing,
I don't even understand. I don't know how mentally weak you think
that's what I'm
Curry
saying.
And the Golden State.
How do I think how mentally weak I think they are, Mark? I'll tell you how mentally weak I think they are because they blew the Cavs out those first 3 games, smoked them. They go from smoking them to being in now dogfights and losing. That is a mental advantage that we can now beat
or
you,
a physical
as opposed to putting you in a chokehold. Say that one more time.
Or a physical disadvantage with injuries.
What physical disadvantage? Who in the playoffs is 100%? Nobody. I'm tired of hearing that bullshit about guys being injured. If you are, I'm tired of hearing that bullshit about you being injured.
It's not even just injured. Draymond got suspended too.
Yeah,
okay, Draymond got suspended.
We cannot act like that because that 7-game series is arguably the greatest 7-game series of all time to many. For multiple reasons. For multiple reasons. That series was not just 2 of the healthiest squads in the league going at it. That wasn't what the case was. But a lot of people, like Mars just said, people like to acknowledge, LeBron didn't have Kyrie and Kevin Love in 2015, and then we get to 2016, and we acknowledge that Andrew Bogut was hurt, Draymond got suspended, Steph wasn't 100%, but most people don't want to acknowledge that because it doesn't fit their narrative of pushing how, the Cavs would have smoked the Warriors had they never had Kevin Durant.
ZZ, that logic doesn't work. ZZ, the reason why that logic doesn't work is because the reason why that logic doesn't work is because both Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were out for the rest of the series.
Right.
Steph Curry being on the floor, we're assuming you are ready to go. Draymond Green played the rest of the series. It wasn't like he was suspended for the rest of the series.
No,
he played the rest of that series.
Same level. No one's saying that.
I'm not going to sound like he's saying.
No, he's saying we can acknowledge that Cleveland were hurt and they were hurt more than Golden State, 1,000%. But we can also acknowledge that Golden State up 3-1 and then Andrew Bogut breaks his leg. Draymond Green gets suspended. Steph Curry has gone through 2 injuries in the postseason already. Still clearly isn't 100%. If you watch Steph Curry, you can see he's not moving as well as Steph Curry can move because of the fact he's not 100%.
Iguodala is averaging something like 26 a game.
He wasn't even 100% against OKC.
He wasn't 100% against OKC. He was holding his knee.
He wasn't 100%. He played pretty well, and I give him credit for playing well against OKC. I give him credit for that overtime game against Portland. I give him credit for playing not as terribly in the finals as I think he should have played. He shot 40% from 3. Congratulations. He still didn't play well. Andre Iguodala dealing with back spasms. We can acknowledge all of these things are factors as to why Golden State weren't able to close out the series. All I'm saying is we don't know if they run it back, if Cleveland win again, if Golden State win. I think it's just dumb to say that, the Cleveland just mopped them because of a mental advantage when Golden State had shown they have the mental fortitude to come back down 3-1 that they showed in that postseason. I don't know how we're going to say a team that goes 73-9 comes back from a 3-1 deficit against the team that some would say was the most talented team in the league, has mental toughness issues because they blew a 3-1 lead when everything went wrong for them. And I also think people don't acknowledge the fact that Kevin Love missed the game in that series with a concussion. I think that's also something that's very important to point out as well. That's very important to point out as well. My point, all I'm saying is we never got to see this. We never got to see this series happen with both teams close to fully healthy. That's all I'm saying. 2015, we know Cleveland were not even close to being healthy. We can all understand That series is
That's
different.
fair.
Whether or not Golden State win is irrelevant. That series is different if Kyrie and Kevin Love are there for the in totality of the series. 2016, I think we can all agree, whether or not Cleveland win or not, that series is different if Draymond doesn't get suspended, if Steph Curry doesn't go through 2 injuries in the first 2 rounds of the postseason, if Bogut doesn't snap his leg, and if Iguodala's not dealing with back spasms, and Harrison Barnes isn't a terrorist, but we can just assume he'll be a terrorist anyway. But we can assume these series are different. I just don't get why we're going to say, oh, well, Cleveland now has their number of 4-game series, 5-game series, because
the reason
they
why
broke them mentally.
Well, and they won by 1 possession. 1 possession.
They did win by 1 possession. After previously getting smoked in the first 3 games that they lost. That's number 1. Number 2, Mars, you just brought up the point of them being injured, right? You just brought up the point of them being injured. Well, a lot of stuff has to go your way. The fact that they was down 3-1 and came back, there's a difference between being down 3-1 and being up 3-1 and somebody coming back on you. It's the same thing as getting punched in the face and then somebody punching you in your face. You don't react the same way. So these guys being down 3-1 to an Oklahoma City team who was damn good and coming back and beating them, that's a huge deal. But being up 3-1 against that Cleveland Cavaliers team, who you beat the year before that, by the way, and they were injured, but you beat them the year before that when they had their guys now, and for them to come back on you and beat you, I completely disagree with the logic that that's not a mental advantage, especially considering how James played in that series.
I'm not mad at you saying it's a mental advantage, but the idea that because you've made it very clear, you think it's more than a mental advantage. You think they broke them. That's not a mental advantage. You think they're just completely out of it. They have no shot. You think it's a 5-game series. And
I think they
a mental advantage is, they have the edge. We know they might have our number. We might have to adjust. Saying someone broke you, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the Warriors. I don't think Steph Curry. I don't think Draymond Green. I don't think Klay Thompson. I don't think Iguodala. Any of them are that weak that they get broken by
the only series. Broken is like what LeBron did to Toronto. That's breaking a team. True. That the Warriors did not get broken. The Warriors' bodies is what failed them more than. And to be fair, Chill, I think you're taking it as if we're trying to like discredit what LeBron did or what the Cavs.
No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, that's fine. But like, I just hate when people say, "Oh, they got KD to beat LeBron." Like they couldn't run it back. Everything that could have gone wrong for the Warriors went wrong, sure, and they lost in 7. And sure, yes, they did smoke them in regular season games, and they smoked them in the first earlier games. But if you bring up regular season is not the playoffs. Shorter lineups, different atmosphere, all of that. And then you get into the playoffs when they were up 3-1. What happens in game 5? Draymond suspended, and everything changed. The momentum switched over to the Cavs. And I only think the mental toughness thing applies to Harrison Barnes. If you want to say, because I've seen Harrison Barnes also struggle this year in the playoffs. Maybe he's just not built like that. If you want to say that Harrison Barnes is mentally weak, that's fine. But everybody else, I don't think that. Well, hold up 1 second, Ticket. You can go respond, but I don't think that you could say that Steph Curry and Klay and Draymond, all 3 of them saw what happened in the finals and said, "Man, we can run this shit back and we can win." They definitely thought that. There's just no way. I mean, I'm not in the locker room, but I think they thought that.
Anyway, if they thought that, they would have fucked it.
What Chilltown is saying,
Cleveland called Kevin Durant.
Well, what Chilltown is saying is that they didn't. So that showed mental weakness. They didn't. They could have, should have.
They didn't what? They didn't what?
Run it back.
They didn't run it back. They could have easily said, you know what? We're this mentally tough team. They could have said everything you just said. We got injuries. We had all of these diversities. Man, we can be better than these dudes. We can beat these dudes. We can run it back. They didn't. They ran and got KD. No. They ran and got KD. They didn't. They ran.
But what's wrong with getting Kevin Durant? That's Kevin Durant.
I want to just say they didn't run and get KD. They ran and recruited KD, and KD chose to join them.
The Cavs tried to
just KD. Won after coming back 3-1 and tried to recruit KD.
Everybody wanted KD. What's wrong with that?
When it comes to KD,
first of all, I was talking to you calmly. And respectfully. So listen, because y'all say no, Ron. You're not gonna say one thing about me, and then when I do it the right way, the corporate way, then you're gonna get mad at me. So
I'm saying turn up on his ass.
I'm gonna respond to him respectfully.
Damn that corporate stuff, Ticket.
Again, there are no excuses when you in those situations. Injuries are not excuse. for losing, and also just when you talk about mental, you said the only guy that you saw that you could address that mentally was Harrison Barnes. I disagree, man. Mentally, Steph Curry broke down. You saw the turnovers, the careless turnovers, the fact that he couldn't score down the stretch. Those were all mental things you at home. And like Chilltown said, I agree with Chill. It wasn't just one game. It was a couple games in a row that this team collapsed. I mean, so, yeah, you lost Draymond for a game. But if you're a mentally tough team, you should be able to bounce back and at least get a game. And they weren't able to do that. They completely fell apart from top to bottom mentally as well. So what I'm saying is, and what Chilltown is saying is that if they had this ultra belief that they could do it without Kevin Durant, they could do it. To me, they would have never went and recruited him because when you're truly great, when you that guy and you feel like I'm just off top better than you, I don't have to go get my big brother to beat you. I'm gonna beat you how I can. So I think that mentally, what Chilltown was saying is he's right because mentally, LeBron James, when that whole situation happened, they mentally were defeated. They didn't feel like they had a way and a path. You understand? And so here's what I do.
Because when I think about Steph Curry and I think about how they came back and how the Golden State Warriors fell apart, I understand the fact that Draymond, who was their emotional leader, being taken out of the lineup for one game, not for the entire series, for one game, how much that affected him. I understand how Andrew Bogut, being their defensive anchor in the hole, him being taken out of the lineup for the rest of the series affected them. But with that also being said, they fell apart overall. And with them falling apart overall, and the fact that as good as Cleveland played, I feel like that broke Golden State, particularly their leader. Particularly not just the team, particularly their leader, Steph Curry. I feel like that broke him. And because it broke him, I feel like it broke them.
Well, I do agree. Turnovers are a mental thing, but Steph Curry's been getting dumb turnovers his whole career. To this day, he gets dumb turnovers.
Very true.
I will say the turnover in Game 7 is still the worst turnover I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see a turnover.
I've seen some bad.
I don't think I'll ever see a turnover worse than that. That's the worst turnover I've ever seen.
They want to run too, Mars. By the way, when he did that,
yeah, I don't know what he was thinking.
He killed all their momentum.
He's been getting dumb turnovers his whole career. So can I say that that's because Cleveland mentally broke him, or because he has mental lapses? I don't know which one it is. I think I'm more leaning to mental lapses based on the fact that it's been happening all the time. No matter if it's regular season, playoffs, wherever, he just does dumb things sometimes. Also,
go ahead, Mars. No, you got it. Finish,
Mars.
When it comes to recruiting KD, I can't call Golden State soft for recruiting KD when the NBA champions also tried to recruit KD. KD chose to join Golden State. That doesn't make Golden State weaker for KD choosing them. Every team in the NBA that had the opportunity was trying to recruit KD. Yeah. Cleveland have made it abundantly clear they tried to recruit KD. KD just didn't give Cleveland a meeting. Does that make LeBron James and Kyrie mentally weak because they still wanted to add more to their championship winning team? I don't think so. I think if KD's available and you don't go after KD, there's something mentally wrong with you, because there's no way you say no to a top 3 player in the league because your ego and pride is telling you you don't need him. I don't care if you need him or not. He's making your team better. If you don't want your team to be better, that is dumb. So I think Cleveland recruited KD, but we don't call them mentally weak because they won. Golden State just won the sweepstakes. Congratulations. They got the better player. Cleveland still tried to get Paul George. They tried to get a bunch of people. It's fine. Make your team better, but that doesn't make you mentally weak, in my opinion, anyway.
Not to mention the fact that, I'm just going to say this, my biggest thing that I've realized with people, and ever since July 4th, 2016, when KD decided to go to Golden State, everybody that was hating on KD, I understood why they were hating on KD. Even Stephen A. Smith and all the like NBA media saying it was the weakest move by a superstar, all that. My thing is, I said back then when I was in like 8th grade, if Kevin Durant's on the table, is it wrong for teams to want him? Like Mars just said, it's Kevin Durant. Fast forward 6 years later, when he requested a trade out of Brooklyn and every team in the league was foaming at the mouth trying to get him or find a way to get him, I'm sitting here saying, this is normal. It's normal. Then he lands in Phoenix out of nowhere, and everybody's talking about, oh, well, he still wants to be on a super team, yada, yada, yada. Teams want Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. The problem, though, ZZ.
I want to respond to ZZ. ZZ, I think it's what Chilltown was saying. I think this goes right along the lines of what Chill is saying. I think you have a point, but I think this falls into Chilltown's point to where it's mental. Now we're talking about mental toughness. Now we're talking about, okay, I don't need this guy. For example, I'm going to show you something. Draymond Green, when he told KD, we don't need you. We won with you. We'll win again without you. That's because Draymond Green thought his team was mentally tough enough to go win another championship without KD, and they did it. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, the mental part does come into it. You understand? So sometimes players can show mental weaknesses in games, and I just think that was a time that Steph Curry showed mental weakness, man. And I think that's why he was so happy, and he was the happiest we ever saw him when he won the 4th championship, because he got that mental weakness monkey off of his back, and people saw him as a guy that overcame and that stepped up in the biggest moments. I think those are the different things we're talking about. I don't think that you guys are wrong necessarily what you and Mars are saying about the decisions of teams wanting to go get a guy. But when you're talking about mentally, if you're Jordan, if you're Larry, if you're Isaiah, and this is your enemy, you want to destroy that guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of guys didn't think like that. A lot of the top guys, some of them did, but a lot of them didn't have that type of mentality. They always wanted to destroy you and keep you down and continue to raise themselves. So I do think that has something to do with the mental, as far as just your mindset and how you think.
Which is fair too. And to Buddy in the chat, just so you know, Buddy, even though James did go to Miami, he didn't jump on the Boston Celtics. So those two things are not the same thing.
But chill.
Not the same thing.
Why does this?
It's not the same. Hold on, no, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. The thing with Kevin Durant joining the Warriors, it's not just about him joining the Warriors to beat the Cavs and LeBron. He joined the Warriors after they were up 3-1 against them in the Western Conference playoffs. So he joined a team that he was up 3-1 against. But like he didn't play well. They collapsed. And wait, I understand you guys. I understand the concept of if Kevin Durant's available, 100%. Every team in the league is making that call. I don't care who's on your team. Every team in the league is making that call, 100%. But to join a team that you were up 3-1 against, you had a crew on your team. You had Westbrook. You had guys on that team where you could have won that series. They were one game away from winning that series. And then to ditch that and join the team that won 73 games, that was already a champion, it's going to be a weak noob. And also easy. The point before that in terms of
weak for KD,
the Cavs, weak for KD, 100% weak for KD. And the point before that, when we're talking about if the Warriors would ever beat the Cavs again, look, it wasn't going to be no 4 or 5 game series. I think every series, if they played without Durant for the next couple of years, it would have been a 6 or 7 game series. Without a doubt, I think going 6 or 7. Hold on. It's going 6 or 7. I think the Cavs would have never lost them because I think the big thing was Kyrie outplayed Steph and Curry in that series. I think Kyrie would have continuously outplayed Steph. I think mentally that's where Kyrie was. Well, you know what, Steph? I'm better basketball player than Steph, and he was going to outplay Steph in every one of those series, and the Cavs are going to win.
But fellas, hold on. I have to step in because we have to move on.
Yeah. But we could do this all day. We could. Thanks, Mars.
If you haven't got an opportunity to, please like the video. Also, I told you guys that there was something I wanted to show you. We got a very special interlude. In case you missed something last night, I'm going to give you an opportunity to see it today and then go back and watch it for yourself. But I'm going to just put this on the screen. You guys let me know if you could hear this, and I'm going to play this for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear it.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shout out to the editing team.
Mm-hmm.
This man got a whole intro.
My mic is in the wrong spot. What's up? It's Fluent Top 10s. It's going to be a different show than usual. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give you some of the biggest names on TikTok, on YouTube from Player's Choice, and we're going to give them an opportunity to tell us their criteria for their top 10 NBA greatest of all time. And then, after they each come up one by one and give us their top 10s, we're going to allow each one of the other members to tell you, this is the thing I hate the most. And and listen, I'm going to not let it get into a Jordan versus LeBron debate because let's be honest, we know some people will pick Jordan, some are going to pick LeBron. I am first going to ask that they give us something that's egregious in their top 10. I'm going to start by giving you someone else's top 10, and let me see if you can guess. Let me see if you can guess what's my biggest issue with this top 10. You ready? All right. Hopefully you guys can see this one too, because it's something.
I should go for a run today, but it looks like it could rain.
Rain jackets at Sierra.
L commercials.
Wrong way investing in that YouTube Premium, man.
L advertising.
Phone in the house.
Takeover. It's the takeover. It's the takeover. It's the takeover. Editing team. That was all me, homie. That was all me. I am for hire though. If you need something, if you need something, holler at me. Listen, I just wanted to jump on to tell you guys, it's not just Tuesdays at 9 p.m. here on Player's Choice. I'm going to jump in and steal time from everybody and give you a top 10. Today's top 10 for the panel. This is a special guest for you guys. NBA jersey sales. All-time top 10 NBA jersey sales. Number 10, Kareem. Number 9, the man himself, Allen Iverson. Number 8, Julius, Dr. J. Number 7, Shaq. Number 6, Steph Curry. Number 5, Larry Bird. Number 4, all-time NBA jersey sale, Magic. Should be number 1. Number 3, LeBron, 4 and 6 James. Number 2, the Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Number 1, the man who has 10 scoring titles, only played 11 full seasons in Chicago, and the one that he didn't win a scoring title was his rookie year, which, by the way, he scored the most points in the NBA that season. Just somebody else was lazy and didn't play all the games and had a higher average. Yes, number 1, the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan.
LeBron? Fraudulent.
No one buys LeBron jerseys.
That top 10 has no surprising names.
Yeah, that's not shocking to me.
I'm surprised Steph is so high already.
I won't lie, Dr. J is a little.
Not surprised,
shocking.
Dr. J?
No.
8 ahead of Allen Iverson?
I just mean I'm not surprised that any of the names on the list. The order, I mean, yeah, I might.
Yeah, I thought AI would be higher. I thought Allen Iverson might have been.
I'll say that my 3 surprises are Kareem being in the top 10. I didn't think a lot of people bought Kareem jerseys.
Oh yeah, I already forgot he was on.
Dr. J being ahead of Allen Iverson. I'm not surprised Dr. J's in it. I'm surprised it's ahead of AI. And I am surprised Steph already cracking the top 6.
Steph's already over Shaq.
That's actually, but Steph is globally probably the most.
I'm not that surprised.
Steph Curry is a big deal.
26.
Steph is big, bro. Steph is big.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Magic, Bird. I think those 5. Those ones.
Jordan
those
and
ones
Kobe were going to be number 1 and 2. I knew that.
Yeah.
Does Dr. J's ABA jerseys count as well? Is that counted in this? Like the ABA jerseys?
I ain't
even think about that.
NBA jersey sales. NBA jersey sales.
That's. I don't know.
If you add ABA,
Dr. J was like the biggest superstar.
He was an icon.
No, I know that, but
he was the league, boss. He was the league.
I know.
The merger was like branded as like just bringing Dr. J to the NBA. That was like
part of it. Like we're not doing this unless this dude comes over.
Was this American sales too or international? Just out of curiosity.
These are worldwide top 10 NBA
Hey,
sales.
Robert, you shut up. You fool. What are you talking about? Pull up. He shut up. I asked the question, bum ass nigga.
For real, yo. And this dude, Marquis being black, talking about wiping them out. This the same dude. This all love, OG. So, but then you want to tell me to wipe my mouth, you suck ass clown? All right.
I don't know what I walked into, but hey, check out It's Fluent Top 10s Tuesday at 9. We got to get these guys back on for part 2. I might eventually have Jalen on to give me top 10 R&B singers because I know
we got it.
All right.
Talk about it.
Tony, leave him alone.
Pleasure, y'all. Yes,
we'll catch you later, Fluent.
Catch y'all later.
What's up, baby?
I'll say what's up on his behalf. What's up? There we go.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna get back into these super chats. Appreciate everybody that sent through super chats. Appreciate everybody that is subscribed to the Player's Choice channel, and appreciate everybody that's liked the video. But I ran a poll. I think it's still up, and I said, whose nastiest take / agenda do you guys want to hear this episode? I put ZZ up there, I put Mustard, and I put Jalen because you guys are the guys that aren't here every day, day in and day out. And Jalen, Aladdin Carter, they voted for your nastiest take. So here's what I want you to do. while I'm reading some of these super chats, you think on it, and then I'm gonna give you the floor to get off whatever it is that deep down inside you've been dying to get off your chest.
Man,
whatever it is.
Please don't make it about Andre Kirilenko, please.
Yeah, it won't be no
don't do that, do not.
Maybe a little Steph. I don't know. Maybe some Steph.
Well, see, I'm gonna give you a second. Think on it, and if you can't, I'm sure Mustard. I'm almost positive that Mustard has something.
Who said I got something? I don't know.
Oh man, I'm like, look, I'm willing to bet the bank that you got something. But Jalen, think on it. In the meantime, Jordan Walker sent through a super chat and said Michael Jordan is still the last guard to make an All-Star as a rookie.
Glaze is insane.
Air attacks.
Jordan
last
Walker
guard
also came back and said Damo loves Bol Bol but hates our country.
Don't hate our country. And I'm glad you said something about Bol Bol. All you people saying Jalen Smith clears Bol Bol literally put up the same number in the same amount of time on the court. Literally, their numbers are genuinely identical from last season. I don't know how we're just saying Jalen Smith clears Bol Bol, but I don't want to stick on that. That was burning my soul the moment people said Jalen Smith clears. They have the exact same numbers in terms of what they did last year.
Add some context, bro. Add some context.
Anyway,
Jalen Smith just better for.
Jay Renrick said some of the lists on Fluent's show were nasty last night, but it was a very entertaining show. Dub show, Dub PC. You guys seen? I played the intro to Fluent's show. If you haven't got a chance to, go back on there last night and see the top 10. I know Chill was on there. Damo gave his top 10. Tiki gave his top 10, and they also talked about Richard Sherman's top 10, which was kind of
Richard
weird,
Sherman.
I think my top 10 was the best top 10 personally.
Oh yeah, he on Undisputed now, right? So.
Just so you know, Mustard, Richard Sherman had KD in the top 5 and he had James Harden in the top 10.
All time. That was crazy.
All time, by the way.
You know, Richard Sherman has shown
That's
me.
That's not that wild.
That is super wild.
Stop it. James Harden in the top 10 is wild. But I think Richard Sherman has shown me.
No,
like,
really.
I actually appreciate Shannon Sharp. Like, I think he's like one of the few football players that can actually break down basketball to some degree. Richard Sherman
break down basketball.
Not break it down, but analyze the sport.
Shannon Sharp just say a bunch of
no. Compared to other football players, let me not say breakdown. And not his analysis of the game compared to other football players is much better.
You're doing that now that he's had 6 years to break down.
Yeah.
When Shannon Sharp first got on national television and started coming up with LeBron James jerseys and goat masks with
I can't even remember what other
craziest stuff you've ever seen.
No. But dumb, I don't remember him really. I don't even remember a lot of his takes outside of the LeBron stuff.
Go back and watch his takes. Go back and watch his takes.
Shannon Sharp just gets his researchers to bring him stats that he reads on the air. Like he's not breaking down.
He's gotten better. No, I shouldn't have used breaking down. That was a poor choice of word. But I meant like
so let Richard Sherman get better. He literally just started.
Let Richard Sherman get.
But when you come on your first day, and say they should trade Giannis for AD or trade AD for Giannis, like that was just I don't even understand.
Hey, and I remember a lot of people afterwards on this very platform entertaining the damn idea of that trade.
Way.
So I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say no names, but there were people definitely entertaining it right after.
I'm sorry, I didn't know people actually entertained that.
It's a good trade.
All right, y'all, keeping it pushing.
For the Lakers.
The second sent through a super chat and said, if Curry is a top 10 talent, why didn't he step up like Isaiah did in Game 6 versus the Lakers, or Jordan in the flu game if injury was a problem?
Isaiah lost that game.
Curry isn't top 10. That's the problem. Stop putting him in the top 10 when he's not.
He did step up in Game 6. I mean, we saw what he did against the Celtics, right?
So I threw in his mouthpiece. But you're talking about Game 6 against Boston.
Yeah, against the Celtics.
Isaiah lost that game. I mean, if that happened today, you guys just praised and losing at this point. Like,
they got robbed too, Mars. Let's not make it sound like they lost.
No,
Mars. They got
praised and losing.
They got hosed.
Mars, you forgot the rules.
They got hosed.
You forgot the rules. Only LeBron gets slandered for losing. They definitely got hosed. No question about that.
Whether or not that's true or not, they lost the game. It sounds like
I mean, it's not that black and white though, Mars, but they did lose.
The way I've heard people talk about finals records, it better be that black and white. It better be. The way I've heard 4 and 6 on repeat, I don't care why they lost.
It's 3-6-1. It's 3-6-1.
The way I've heard 4-6-1 all the time. The way I've heard 6-0 is that black and white. It is that black and white. I don't want to hear it's not that black and white. Nah, it's that black and white.
Hey Henry, didn't you say that when we started Henry DeRuth, that's your name? When we started this and we started talking about Orlando, didn't you say you was out? That was an hour ago. You still here, Goofy?
He commented on the last video he's gonna not be here for a week.
What are you talking about? You keyboard warrior? Why are you still here? You said you was out. Are you out or you in?
Stay in the chat.
He's addicted.
Give me a break. I ain't smoking crack no more. Picking up the crack pipe. Give me a break.
Left a comment yesterday like, I might have to take a week and watch.
I'll fold chill up. You wouldn't fold up a chair, Goofy. Shut up.
Henry ain't got nothing better to do with his life.
You wouldn't fold up a chair.
Dub crack pipe, Henry. We got a super chat from Vontae. He said, My point is he still had his second best player in Klay Thompson and a good team surrounding him. He should have got it done with their top two players on the court to win one game.
Draymond Green was their second best player.
Almighty, you can find out if you want to. Almighty, you can definitely find out. Just so you know, I'm born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm a third generation project kid. You can find out if you want. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm a third generation project kid born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. You can find out if you want.
Chill about that. Like, don't play with Chill.
Man, Chill said he repping his set right now. That's crazy.
Walker with the super chat said, by this logic, the Cavs was mentally weak after the finals because they knew they couldn't run it back without adding KD, so they tried to recruit him.
Well, to Mars' point, if you have a free agent on the table that's that good, you would be goofy not to go after him. Why didn't the Seattle Supersonics not go after Shaq in 1996 after they lost to the Bulls? They'd be crazy not to go after him. Why didn't the Bulls call him up? Even though David Stern would not have.
I agree, but if the Warriors are mentally weak for recruiting KD, then Cleveland didn't believe they could beat Golden State again. They didn't believe it, so they tried to get KD themselves.
I mean, it's crazy because LeBron.
That's my new agenda. That's my new agenda. LeBron James is so mentally weak. He didn't think he could beat Golden State if Steph Curry and Bogut and Draymond doesn't get suspended, so he tried to recruit KD. That's the new agenda.
And Paul George, by the way, don't forget.
Yeah, that's my new belief. That's my new belief.
Speaking of that, Mars, somebody else believes something similar too. Y8MS said Bron is mentally weak against the 2018 Warriors. He quit after game one. Say it, Chilltown.
Yeah, if Steph Curry's mentally weak for getting turnovers, LeBron James is mentally weak for breaking his hands in anger. I'm sorry, that's mentally
weak. Yeah, see, at 28 minutes,
LeBron's mentally weak. And he's mentally weak for having 51, 8, and 8, and recognizing that that's not enough. So
he should have taped that shit.
I'm saying, if you're mentally strong, you don't break your hand out of anger after a game.
They wasn't going to beat them dudes, Mars. I mean,
you tape it up and you hoop like Isaiah Thomas did. That's what you tape it up and you hoop.
That's mentally weak.
They were not going to beat, no matter what.
Have a pass like, I played 3 games.
No. That was a winnable game, Chill. He should have taped his hand up and got up in there.
Overtime just didn't happen. He just chose to not play in overtime.
When George Hill is your third best player, you're not beating
him. Curry broke him.
So now it's just a bunch of excuses. There's no excuse for him breaking his hands.
Jalen, Take has a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just had a very serious question for Jalen, real quick. Very serious. No joking, man. If LeBron asks you to wash his
that crazy, y'all crazy.
LeBron asks you to hand wash.
Ticket don't even say what it is. Just say if he asks you to wash something.
Ticket is laughing right now, bro.
I'm gonna say no, but yo, LeBron clutch. I'm still waiting for my contract, man. Where's it at, man? I'm still waiting for my contract.
That's glaze.
You know your
man. Clutch be paying. You see those contracts? Who Rich Paul be getting his clients? Man,
that's facts.
Give me one of those. Give me one of those.
That clutch payroll crazy.
It's real crazy.
That's funny, yo.
I think you would do it. I think you would hand wash it.
That's crazy.
The interesting thing with this dude sending super chats, the interesting thing with this YE, whatever his name is, sending super chats, you notice, Ron, all the super chats and the stuff that he say in the comments is all insults. He doesn't talk basketball at all. So I've forgotten more basketball than your goofy ass knows, my man. So keep sending your super chats from wherever the hell you from. We appreciate you.
The UK, he's sending pounds. He's from the UK.
Mars.
Mars, that's one of your people, dog. That's one of your people, man.
Do I represent the whole population?
Yes.
Mars.
Yes.
Listen.
You are the United Kingdom.
We all
Rep
know
your
this.
city, dog. Yo, said, man, come on, stop.
Big personalities, they have a platform to say things that they can say, and then they typically have another account that they use to say things that they can't really say.
Like a burner account?
Oh, I definitely have burners, but that's not one of them.
This isn't it.
A YouTube burner is kind of crazy, though. I can't lie to you, though.
I have burners all over the place, but I wouldn't use a burner in the. I'm not sending super chats to a show I'm on. I'll just keep the money for myself. What are we doing?
I mean, maybe it's certain things that you can't say, but you want them to be said, so you send the super chat.
Oh no, I just type in the chat on my own account and then get called disrespectful.
Nah, you go to the other account, Mark. You switch out. You switch over.
Nah, I just do it on my main account. It's fine.
All right, Jalen, you ready for that? You got that?
Yeah. You know, we gonna go a little outside the box. You know, we could go with the Steph overrated, Steph not top 10. KD better than him, the LeBron stuff. We're gonna focus on my man Gilbert Arenas today. Gilbert Arenas, a guy that a lot of people are mad at for talking his talk. Let's remember who this guy was. Gilbert Arenas at his peak from 04, 05 season to about the 06, 07 season. He was averaging about, add those three together. We got about 27.
He had a 5-year stretch where he was 25 and 5.
Yeah, let's
5-year stretch where he did.
Let's talk about that 3-year peak. It was about like 27 points a night, 6 assists, and and about four rebounds here. Gilbert Arenas at that time. Gilbert Arenas' 3-year peak is a better peak than Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Klay Thompson. At his peak, he's a better basketball player than those guys. We talk about as a passer, playmaker for those Washington Wizards. As a scorer, give me that. Give me that. No,
ain't no way you just read a book scoring.
You just said that, Mars. You did just say that. And Mars, this is what I'm talking about. Mars, this is what I'm talking about.
Let him get it off. Let him get it off. Wait. It's his agenda. It's his agenda. Let's let him fully push it. Go ahead, Jalen.
This is nasty. I can't.
We're talking about the mid-2000s. Where we're talking about one of the hardest defensive eras in league history, him putting up 27 a night, an amazing passer and playmaker, creating for that team, taking them to the playoffs year after year. He peaked higher again, and he was number one option, peaked higher than Reggie Miller was never the passer and playmaker. Gilbert Arenas was at his peak. Yeah. Ray Allen is the close one, but give me Gilbert Arenas over Ray Allen's peak, and he clears Klay Thompson's peak. Because Klay Thompson ain't going to do none of that.
Nobody's arguing about Klay. Nobody cares.
Klay, no.
Klay was just in there for
I don't even know why you threw Klay in there. That's a polar bear. Polar bear in Arkansas, bro.
Give me Pete Gilbert Arenas over peak Reggie Miller and Ray Allen. That's what I'm talking about.
It's just funny to me that you just went on Basketball Reference, looked at his stats, and then made the take.
That's crazy. For the record, this take was brought up before in J-Rob's Discord. Shout out J-Rob. But yeah, no, I think Gilbert Arenas.
Just so you know, we own the Rams. You can talk that 2021 nonsense all you want. We own y'all. Deal with it, fam.
What is going on in that Discord? The discourse of Gilbert Arenas versus Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, and Klay Thompson at their peak. What kind of guy?
Is that a combo y'all have a lot?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You just compared a point guard to a bunch of two guard like
twos.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but like, what made that?
Why did you think of Reggie Miller all of a sudden?
I think Reggie Miller is probably one of the most overrated guards in NBA.
The box score is not sticking out for you.
No, it's not. I get his playoff rising. The playoff
you see how people gas Reggie Miller? You see how?
I've heard someone tell me Reggie Miller's the top 10 scorer of all time.
Yes.
Yeah,
you've never heard that, Mars. You've never heard that, Mars.
On my life, I've heard that.
There's no way you actually heard somebody.
You gotta come out.
Yes, I've heard that. And the reasoning is 3-year peaks in the postseason, one of the most efficient. Blah blah blah.
Ben Taylor, Mars. It's Ben Tayller.
Yeah, I've been told that Reggie Miller. And I'm high on Reggie Miller. I have him as a top 10 shooting guard. I think he's one of the premier scorers. I think of the 90s, he's the second best shooting guard, third best shooting guard to me. But
who's second?
Clyde Drexler.
Oh, yeah.
So he's third to me. I'm very high on Reggie Miller, but I've heard him be called a top 10 scorer of all time. I've heard he's a better scorer than James Harden. I've heard these things. So
this is what I'm saying, Mark.
The Reggie Miller glaze does go crazy.
Did you hear this from somebody that's around my age?
No, it's a bunch of stat heads. So
because I'm thinking to myself, because if it's somebody that's around my age, this is the idea that, you know, when people say stuff that they think we all think that. Is Reggie Miller awesome? Hell yeah. Reggie Miller was playing in an era where the guards were really good. Really good. And the fact that he never made first team All-NBA or second team All-NBA, that's largely due to Drex. That's largely due to Jordan. That's largely due to Joe Dumars. That's largely due to Mitch Richmond. These guys were awesome during that time. But the idea that he was a top 10 scorer, there's no way that I can get behind that. I can't.
The Reggie Miller like stands,
and in the playoffs, his playoff rising, what he produced in the playoffs,
that's crazy.
That makes up for a lot of what he didn't do in the regular season. Because again, I'm on record saying, no matter what you do in the regular season creates the legend. What you do in the postseason is what elevates the legend. And what Reggie Miller did in the postseason is what elevated the legend. 100% he did that.
I have a question for you, Chill. I mean, you saw this firsthand, so I want to know what you think. Were there regular seasons?
Hold up, right quick.
Were there regular seasons you saw? Were there regular seasons that you saw where you thought guys like Mitch Richmond or Mark Price were better than Reggie Miller?
Mark Price.
I'm just thinking of guards back then. Mark Price, Mitch Richmond. No, I'm not saying he was. I'm talking about when you saw the regular seasons.
That's what I'm talking about. We just going on regular season alone. There was never a season that I watched.
Because I mean, I think Reggie's still better because the playoffs, you got to factor that in. But
like even in the 94 season when Mark Price, I think he was first team All-NBA that year, or 93 or 94, one of them. I didn't feel like he was better than Reggie Miller. I did not. Or
Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond, I felt like him and Reggie Miller. The separator was in the playoffs, what Reggie Miller did and what how much better he was in the playoffs. But I didn't think that he was head and shoulders ahead of Mitch Richmond, because Mitch Richmond as a big guard, and again, I'm on record saying this, that's Anthony Edwards, except a better athlete. That's who Mitch Richmond is. And watching Reggie Miller and watching Mitch Richmond, Mitch Richmond was more physical. He didn't shoot the long ball like Reggie. In terms of a one-on-one player, he was better off the dribble. He was a better finisher at the basket, but Reggie's playoff performances are legendary, and that's what the separator was.
What about Kevin Johnson? My bad, Ron.
I know we got to go.
No. We got to get back to the initial thing that Jalen said, because I have to know, does anybody up here agree that Gilbert Arenas' peak is better than Ray or Reggie Miller?
No.
Mm-mm.
Klay Thompson, I agree, but Ray and Reggie, no.
Ray Allen, who was also in smack dab in the middle of his prime during those seasons, Gilbert Arenas was clearly the better basketball player in those 3 seasons. Without
clearly,
a doubt.
Are you just going off
basketball reference?
You talking about the big shot? You talking about the big shot after big shot? Gilbert Arenas.
You're box score watching hard right now, Jalen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The box score watching is going crazy.
I got the box score.
I might have to agree with Jalen a little bit here, because we do. I think that we allow some of the things that Gilbert says to cloud our judgment. I think that Gil, he did lead teams to the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if Ray, and I think Ray was at his peak in Seattle and then those couple of years in Milwaukee, but he had substantially more help than what Gil had with the Wizards. So to me, I think that Gil, when we talk about just peak, he probably, I think I agree with Jalen Carter. I think he did peak higher than those guys. I don't think he was a better player, and I don't think he had a longer extended great period. But I did think that Gil got buckets, man. And Gil was a guy.
Crazy. Y'all be sleeping on what Gil did 30
He put up 60 on Kobe in the what you call it, man, and then took a bow. And I've seen him lead teams to the playoffs. I'm not saying he's won championships or led up to championships, but he, from those last years in Golden State to those years in with the Wizards, he was leading that team to the playoffs. He had the team relevant. They were a relevant team. So when Ray was in Seattle, I know Ray was great, but was Ray leading those Seattle teams to the playoffs?
Yeah.
What about Milwaukee? Milwaukee, they went to the conference finals. Did he not?
Yeah. Well, in 05, I know Seattle got to the second round. After
they won a playoff series.
But
not only that,
we also got to look at the West versus the East at the time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think
the West was substantially better, especially that year in 2005.
Yeah, they were both in the.
To your point, Ticket, you talking about the help that Ray Allen had with Rashard Lewis And who did he
go to Milwaukee? I'm basically talking about Milwaukee. I'm talking about in the Milwaukee.
So in 2001, he was in the conference finals. Was that his peak? Or was that the beginning of it? Because that was year 5 for him.
Yeah, that was his peak. No, he got better.
He's entering his prime at that point, but that was the best team he was on.
That was definitely
his
the best
peak
team
was probably like the first 2 years in Seattle. Seattle, right? When he got traded.
So we talking about Gilbert Arenas in Washington. You know, he running around with Anton Jameson and Larry Hughes and
Caron Butler.
You know, he had a pretty good team too. He had a pretty good team too. So it wasn't like it was just Gil. And by the way, Gil did not pass the pill. 5 assists, by the way. In that time. He did not get off the pill.
Chilltown, respectfully, and the reason why I say I agree with Galen, you have to tell you one. The reason why I say he peaked higher is because in those years that Gil was in Washington and he was an all-star, Gil was averaging damn near 30 points a game. I didn't see Ray Allen do that. He was averaging 30 points and around 6 assists a game, I would say, those years. I didn't see Gil do. I mean, I didn't see Ray do that. So when he said he peaked higher, I agree, man. You know, up until those years, he was putting up huge and mega numbers. And then remember, the only thing that stopped him was the he only played 13 games in that season.
Yeah, the gunshot, right?
Those years.
What about Reggie Ticket?
He was
definitely better than Reggie. Reggie was 18.
What about Reggie? What about Reggie Ticket?
Buddy, that's not a point guard.
He brought up Reggie. I mean, he brought up Reggie, so I mean, I'm just asking.
You're talking about individual player peak, individual. When you talk about individual player peak, I'm looking at Gil, man. Gil was damn near putting up 30 in the league, bro. And I'm talking about, and he
did have a 29-game season.
The dead ball era, by the way.
Didn't he have a season where he averaged like 28 or 29 a game or something like that?
Something like that.
Is Gilbert Arenas on the same level as Dwayne Wade?
He averaged that 2 years in a row.
During those years,
there's more to the game than scoring. You know, Dwayne Wade clears in all these other aspects. Like, let's be serious.
Okay, offensively, is Gilbert Arenas on the same level as Dwayne Wade?
He was in the same tier. Hold on. Gilbert, during those 3 years,
I'm asking because it's similar numbers.
During those 3 years.
But D Wade still at his peak has better scoring numbers.
I think that's what Mark said. I think that if you would have gave Gilbert the type of team that D Wade had, if you would have gave him a Shaq at the level he was playing, Gil was playing at extremely high level, bro. And I mean, until he got that situation, he was headed into a space where, I mean, I just put it up. He was 25.5 the first year. The second year in Washington, 29.3 the second year. 28.4 the third year. All those years he was all-stars. And then the only thing that
and keep in mind he was 25 too that last year. I want to say 25 or 26.
He had a 5-year stretch where he was 25 and 5 for 5
years. I'm talking about his age. Like he was still young. We got deprived of a lot of years from Gilbert.
Bro, say he was a better offensive player than D Wade. Say it.
Yeah, that's Mars Mess's career. Yeah, he was a better offensive player than D Wade. I think Mars will have a point when he's saying D Wade probably all around because D Wade was a much better defensive player. But I think Gil, man, if you would have put him with the type of guys that D Wade had when they won that championship in Miami, man, Gil was the real deal, and he was clutch too, bro.
He was a bucket getter though. Ticket was
that's how you guys create content when you ask questions like that. I'm putting you guys on.
He was a bucket getter. Ticket 100%. I won't fight that. But in terms of being the playmaker, in terms of the finisher around the rim, in terms of
pure slasher.
All of those things that we're talking about, because Gil was more of a mid-range guy. He could shoot the three, but he was more of a mid-range guy, mid-post guy. He could get to the rim, but his game was largely on the perimeter. When you talk about Dwayne Wade, his ability to score around the rim, his ability to score in transition, he was a much better transition player than Gilbert Arenas. In terms of his ability to distribute, I think he was a better passer a more willing passer than Gilbert Arenas, who, by the way, was supposed to be a lead guard who didn't get off the ball, and his reasoning for not getting off the ball was because, quote, you dudes is soft. That's why I ain't passing. So that means that he would have passed to Shaq. That means he would have passed to Antoine Walker. That means he would have passed to Gary Payton as opposed to passing to Caron Butler, or passing to Anton Jameson, who was a 20-a-game guy.
Not only that,
mental toughness, man. Gilbert Arenas got that mental toughnness, man.
The playoff, you got the dog, but
in response to you, Chill, I've seen big moments where he was clutch. And I mean,
yeah, like those 2 missed free throws, right? Like those 2 missed free throws.
He had a lot of.
Oh, he had a buzzer. No, take it right.
He
He had a buzzer beater in the playoffs. He took it right. He did do that. I ain't gonna fight that.
Again, I've seen big moments where he was clutch. I didn't say he was clutch all the time, but I've seen big moments where he was clutch. And I just think that if you would have put that same type of team that they have in Miami with Shaq, with Antoine Walker, with all those other guys, I think Battier was on that team. Or who was on that team, Chilton? I think it was
Antoine.
Antoine James Wade.
Alonzo Mourning.
Dwayne Wade. It was Wade. It was Shaq.
No, take Wade off.
Shaq, Gary Payton,
Jason
Williams,
Antoine Walker,
Old Alonzo Mourning,
James Posey.
You got
Rick Anderson was on that crew.
Yeah, you got defensive wings. You got defensive guards. You got veteran leadership. I think if you put Gil in his peak on a team like that, like D-Wade, I think Gil could win with that team too. I just don't think Gil had the same type of – I think he had talent, but I don't think he had the same type of dogs with that mentality that D-Wade had around him. James Posey was a dog. These dudes was dogs. Even though Gary Payton was older, his mentality and what he brought to that team was necessary. I think Shaq, what he brought to that team as far as his championship know-how and his resolute, I think that would have helped out a lot too, playing with guys like that. I just think that when we look at a guy like Gilbert Arenas, I'm not going to say that Reggie was better than him. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say he was better than Reggie. I'm not going to say he was better than Ray. They obviously had better careers when you just look at it overall. I'm just saying when he talk about peak and we talking about this guy who could perform on the highest level, bro, it ain't too many cats that can say out of percentage all the cats that play the league that they put up 29, almost 30 points a game back-to-back seasons. And he would have probably kept going if he didn't get that gun charge. So, and he was at 25 when that happened, and he was rolling. So I think that robbed him of
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was a gun charge. The injuries, right? The injuries.
Well, the injuries definitely derailed any chance of like a comeback.
Yeah.
Does Gilbert Arenas win in Golden State in Steph Curry's place?
Oh, come on.
No, because he doesn't play the same type of game that Steph played. I think Steph's style is put one for Golden State. But I just think that if you had a guy like I think if you was a great player, great like Gil was at that time, and you put a guy like Shaq around him with the pieces they had at that time, he was going to be one of the favorites to win a championship. If it was Gil instead of D-Wade on that team, they would have been one of the favorites in the league to win a championship. The way Gil was.
That's fair.
You put a 30-point per game guy in the league with Shaq, who had just came off of those championship runs with Kobe, with all the other guys they had. James Posey, he was a 3-and-D guy. Antoine Walker, he was a guy who could hit threes. He was a veteran guy. Gary Payton, and all the list goes on. I think Jay Will was on that team backing him up. He was playing starter minutes, but he would have been a backup. Like I said, man, me personally, man, I don't see. I think he peaked higher than those guys. I think they were better players, but I just think that when you say peak, I agree with Jalen. I think he peaked higher. Ain't too many cats out here putting up 30 like that, bro. And the only thing that stopped you was injuries or a gun.
To be fair, though, I think this convo is kind of tough because we're comparing like Gilbert Arenas to like 06 Dwayne Wade. That's not peak Dwayne Wade. Peak Dwayne Wade is like 2009. 2009 Dwayne Wade, he led the league in scoring. He was a 30-point per game scorer. So like even then, then you throw in the playmaking aspect. Obviously, he clears defensively. So that's that. So I mean, we're talking like 06 D Wade that's not his best.
He's still on D Wade in 06, still on his Brook deal.
No, he was still he was still a great player, still a great playoff run.
Still bad in Gilbert Arenas.
Mustard, I don't think nobody would debate that. That's why we had to say in 2006. And we were talking about at that time.
But we said peaks though.
No,
right?
we
were talking about peak with Reggie and Ray Allen. I don't think nobody up here is gonna go that far.
With Wade, that 3-year stretch from like that 04, 05 to 06, 07, that 3-year stretch. Other than Kobe and Wade, Gilbert's right there for that third spot right there.
For guards,
you putting him in shooting guard.
It's right there. He was a
shooting
combo
guards.
guard. Like he had point. Like he was more of a combo guard.
You think Gilbert Arenas was better than Steve Nash, Jalen?
So Steve, it's one of those things, man. Steve Nash was a point guard, true point guard, while Gilbert was giving you a little more scoring. It's different. They're playing different roles.
Mars, this is what I'm talking about.
Point guards.
Different roles.
I'm talking about.
Different roles, though.
On the track, and then all of a sudden it goes.
Look, I got love for. I'm just saying they're different players, and what their teams needed were different. You put Gilbert On that Phoenix team,
you compared Gilbert Arenas to Reggie Miller. That's 6'7" different players.
But I'm saying Reggie's role was more of a scoring guard. Just like Gilbert, he was still more of a scoring guard, while Steve Nash is more of a pass first guard first. So they're different.
No, I'm not, buddy. I'm not saying the same thing. No, I'm not, buddy.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. Steve Nash is closer to Gilbert Arenas in comparison than Reggie Miller.
No, it's not.
Reggie Miller doesn't even put the ball on the ground. Like
that's fair.
There's no comparison.
That's fair. I think both of
them. I don't think the longevity. I don't think the longevity was there, and I think that hurt Gil. Is a longevity. We didn't see where they could go, and I think that's what hurt him in his career. Is we didn't see where they can go. But I think that right there, man, that 29 and 28 and where he was going right there in his career at 25 years old, you're probably looking at about another 4 or 5 years of that, and he does that, and we never know what ends up happening as far as does he get to a team that can contend, anything like that. We looking at him in a whole different mindset, because at that time, I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, we was looking at guys like he was going at Kobe, you know. He took that challenge whenever he played Kobe. He wanted to go at Kobe, and Kobe wanted to go at him. So he definitely was one of those guys, man. And he definitely peaked very high. It wasn't long, but I think he peaked very, very, very high. There's not a lot of guys in the league that can say, "Hey, man, you know, I was doing that at that time." It's sort of like you seeing guys now, you know, peak at levels. But you're seeing these guys peak early at these levels, like Trae Young and some of these other guys. The question is, how long can they last at those levels? We can say, hey, man, this guy may have peaked. We might can say Luka peaked higher than a guy like Reggie Miller, or he peaked higher than Ray Allen right now. But the question is how long can he sustain that? So I do think that Gil peaked higher. I just think that he wasn't able to sustain it because of the gun charge and because of the injuries and stuff like that.
That's why I never really get involved with the whole peak thing, because a peak could be like 2 or 3 years, as opposed to a dude being in his prime for like 8 or 9 years and being awesome, as opposed to a dude 2 or 3 years doing this. I never really got into that. I never really understood the peak logic. Never.
Yeah, you can say the same about Isaiah Thomas. That year he was in Boston, where he peaked at that year, not many players can say, hey, man, I peaked at that level. Because he was going into MVP conversations that year in Boston, and like I said,
led the league in fourth quarter points that year.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest. That might have been one of points. Yeah, he might have had one of the top 10 greatest small guard seasons in the league that year.
He was a B player who had an A year, 100%. He was a B player who had an A year.
Right, and so that's why I said when you say peak. Is it 1 year, 2 years? Like what are we saying? Like are we saying
I do peak? I do minimum 3 years, but like 3 to 5 is what I usually look at.
A peak can be a season, can't it?
It can be, but the reason I like, if I'm comparing peaks between players and someone has a 1 year peak and no other year even comes close to it, that's just an outlier season.
Oh, you think it's like a fluke?
It's like an anomaly.
That's why I'll try and extend the peak, because
so like Oladipo, for example.
Yeah, there's no way you have 1 year where you're elite and then every other year you're okay, and I'm using that year as the indicator.
What if it's like injuries?
Yeah. That was about to be my question.
Injuries get some grace, but I don't know if there's any players who have had like great single season peaks and then it's all.
No. You can say Derrick Rose, Oladipo.
Derrick Rose had like a 2-3 year like that.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose in 202012 was still good, and in 2010 he was good. So you can still do 3 years. In 2011 is the apex. Penny Hardaway is the same. Penny Hardaway is 3 years.
Well, how do you feel about Oladipo then, Mars?
No, I was saying to Mars, I think that I think that Isaiah Thomas would have peaked again if he never got hurt and stayed in Boston.
Yeah. You think he could have stayed? So what he did at 17 before the hip injury. Let's take the hip injury off the table, and we moving into 18. We moving into 19. You think he could have sustained that?
Yeah, because first of all, you're going to the NBA Finals, probably.
No, Mom. The only reason why he got traded was because of the injury. If he doesn't get hurt,
Kyrie won it out. I think
he was going to get traded regardless.
Go ahead, take it.
I'm saying that if he doesn't get hurt, that history changes. If he doesn't get hurt, they may go to the NBA Finals. If at worst, they're in the conference finals, and then he comes back the next year. I don't think they move him for Kyrie. The way he just played the MVP level, he comes back with the same coach, same system, same everything, and I think he's going to do that again and again and again. I think him getting hurt, then getting traded, then move here, that wrecked everything. So I do think that he could have played like that level a few more years in that system they had going on in Boston. But I understand what Mars is saying. It is some players that, they'll get to a level and do it 1 year, and then you will never see it again, and then you have to take that out. But a guy like Isaiah Thomas, I think he was a bucket getter, and he was comfortable in that system of the team. And the way he was playing, and they were winning. They were winning at a high level. So I think that he could have been able to sustain the way he was playing. It wasn't something that he couldn't do. Even when he was coming off the bench, he was still putting up almost 20 points a game. It's just that when he got into that starting position is where it went to almost 30.
All right, fellas, we got to keep it
real quick. I know we got to keep it pushing. It's what Mars just talked about. What Mars talked about it with 1 year, Jalen. It's like an artist having one 5-time platinum album, and the rest of the albums are gold. Well, we can't put him in the same category with a dude that had 3 or 4 platinum albums. Jackson. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yo, chat. We're about to do our top. So we got 6 people up here. I'm gonna let you guys, or 7. So we're gonna do 14. I'm gonna let everybody give 2 picks on the top duos under 23. So we'll do 14 duos, but chat, I need you guys to drop me an order.
Both players under 23 or an average age below 23?
Both players got to be under 23.
Oh, damn. I was trying to get Shea.
I got to look up ages now at this point.
Shea's 25. Shea's 25 and Giddy's at 21. Averages out to 23. So I was trying.
Giddy and Jalen Williams, though.
I mean, you still. Oh shit!
It's gonna be Giddy in chat before Jalen gets in. But
yo, drop an order, chat. Well, while you guys are dropping that order,
man, calling me a liar. I hate that shit, yo. I got a problem with that, man. I come up here with you dudes all the time. I come up here with you dudes all the time, and we talk, and I might get my facts screwed up sometime. But calling me a liar, yo, you don't know me like that, B. You don't call me a liar. I hate that shit, man. I don't, and I don't talk basketball with people calling me a liar. When these people are the same people who do the exact same thing that I do, and they ain't even up here, but they defend us. They defend people. They defend people and do it the exact same way, but calling me a liar. I hate that shit, man. I swear, man, that shit bothers me. And I've decided to get with the chat because this is part of the show. But yo, y'all think that shit is funny. That shit ain't funny. I take that shit real personal because I am not a liar. I hate that shit, yo. That's some bullshit for real. Y'all dudes are suckers for that.
Lying, calling you a liar.
Y'all dudes are suckers for that.
All right, I'm gonna read a couple super chats. We got the order right here. So Mustard, it's on you. We're gonna go Mustard, Damo, ZZ, Chill, Ticket, Jalen, Mars. You guys,
what's going on?
You top duos under 21 or 23.
One of you guys need to make the right pick because my pick best not.
What's the order?
We're going in order.
This is the order right here. Mustard, I'm gonna give you a chance to think on it. I'm gonna read a couple super chats. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to think on it.
Am I ranking? Like how many am I ranking?
You just pick one. You just pick the best young duo in the league. That's what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got number 1. Here's how we
under 23.
Right,
you said
see it up there. Yes, under 23. And with that being said, you guys help each other out. You know, like don't leave. I mean, if you guys want Mustard to say something, but I mean,
hopefully nobody pick mine, but I already know which way I'm going.
Hopefully someone does pick mine because they shouldn't fall to 7. So hopefully someone does pick mine.
All right, here we go though. Jonathan Peralta said, comments mad. LeBron the GOAT. Hop off Jalen's.
Facts. Jordan
Jalen's something. I don't know.
Bill Russell's the GOAT, but it's fine.
Jordan Walker said the agenda pushes itself. Whatever agenda that may be. Jonathan Peralta also said, talk about how Dame said the bubble was the best basketball and the hardest championship.
What's Dame know about difficulty of championships?
He did have to deal with the Warriors in 2019.
I'm gonna be honest. Dame doesn't know how hard it is to win a championship, so I'm not about to listen to him.
Yes, he does, Mars. He had to go through the Warriors, and he couldn't get through them. Yes, he does.
But he doesn't know which championship's harder than which. He's never won one.
And the fact that he had to deal with the Golden State Warriors.
Same amount of championship experience. Dame, join the panel, my friends.
The fact that he had to go through the Warriors and losing to them as many times as he did, then have to go down to the bubble, and see what that environment was. To put those two things together, absolutely, I can get with that.
Nah, Dame ain't been through it. Dame don't know what it's like to win a championship. Dame don't know which championship's harder than the other. He doesn't know. He played a first round series in the bubble. That's what he did. He doesn't know.
I mean, he knows how it is to try to get there. You know, so
yeah,
I don't know what it's like to win it though. Right.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
You can't tell me what championship's harder when he's never won one.
All right, fellas, let's get to it. Mustard, it's on you. Which duo do you have under 23? Number one.
I'm gonna go John Morant and Josh 24. I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels.
What?
Why you hate that?
Under
Damo?
23. What's wrong with that?
Anthony Edwards carrying that.
I'm a hater.
Okay, no, that's cap, Jaden. That's cap. Anthony Edwards not carrying that duo.
I'm casual. Go ahead.
Jaden McDaniels is like that. Y'all can hate. Jaden McDaniels is like that.
He is. He is.
And
Ron,
Ja is 24, right? Yeah. So I mean,
Damo second.
They had to be on the same team.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mars, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Mustard was going to make a knowledgeable pick, so I wouldn't have to pick the obvious pick right here. But now, because Mustard is clueless, I have to say Paolo and Franz. That's number 2. And I would have who Mars is going to say right
Paolo and Franz.
They better not fall to 7. They better
not. I'm mad. They should be second.
All right, is it on me?
Yeah, it's on you, ZZ.
So I had to look it up to make sure, but for me, I'm gonna go Darius Garland and Evan Mobley.
I do like that.
Wait, Darius, is he not 24?
Is he 24?
He just turned 20. No, I think
he said he just looked it up. I'm taking his word.
I think he might.
I thought we said under 23. You said under 23.
If they're under 23, 23 or under. 23 or under.
He's closest to 24 than he is to 23.
He's 23.
No, I could have sworn at first Ron said under 23.
Yeah, under 23 is different to 23 and under.
He was 23 last season, so if anything, he's either 24 now or he's turning.
He's going into his 24 season.
Yeah, so he's going to be 24.
Is he 24 now? If he's not 24 years old, he's good.
I would have changed my pick
right now. What pick would you go with, Mustard? Is it different from anything up here? Because
I would have said Darius Garland and Mobley probably, but actually, no. I'm gonna keep Ann and Jaden. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep Ann and Jaden.
Garland seems like a cheap pick, but I guess
that's crazy. But I'm gonna pick him anyways. Yeah, that's my pick.
All right, y'all. This is what we got right now. So far, we have at number 1 with the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. Number 2. The Orlando Magic have Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. At number 3, the Cavaliers come in with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. How are we feeling about this right now? Did we get it right so far?
Nope.
Garland and Mobley would be number 1 if we were doing 23 and under, in my opinion. But
I thought Garland was 24 too.
I don't know. I'm not too sold on Mobley's offensive ceiling. So,
all right, chill. It's on you.
Okay. Cade Cunningham and Ivy.
What? A good Batman. That's a great Batman, chill. You
wrong
with the right second guy.
I'm not.
Chill, that was crazy, dog. I can't lie. That was crazy.
I know where Mars is going, but I'm not feeling it. I'm Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. I'm feeling.
Can I pick another Detroit duo if I wanted to?
I'm not going with Jalen Duren. I'm not doing it.
You want to?
Not over Ivy? Are you serious, Chill?
You're tweaking, Chill. You tweaked, Chill.
If I wanted to pick Cade and Jalen Duren, could I do it?
Yeah, if you want to, you could do that.
Wait, what?
It's the wrong duo.
You can't do that. No. You can't do that. No.
It's not the wrong duo.
Somebody else. You can't do that.
Chill's right.
Because Cade is a part of 2 duos. How does that make sense?
Okay, that's 2 separate duos. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
You get Mars. You go.
Steph and KD. 3 duos.
Mars, you can always go Jalen and James Wiseman. But you can. There's multiple ways you can go about this.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to assist you. My bad.
What about Thompson? Asor.
That's a good one. Jalen Duren, you're making this list, buddy.
All right, but so Chill just went. He said the Pistons with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Dub pick, Chill. Ticket, it's on you now.
All right, I'm gonna go Zion Williamson and the guard, Murphy guard.
Trey Murphy.
Trey over. What's his name's over 23?
Shit, Zion's 23.
Yep. He's younger than Garland.
Dang. I feel like Zion's a little older.
We ain't seen him play.
Yeah, give me a little bit of defense and give me some offense.
He just turned 23 too.
Damn,
a young man.
I like it.
Good pick. No, I would have.
Zion's a great pick. That's a good pick.
Nah, he is a great pick. Yeah.
Jalen, it's on you.
Watch him pick LeBron in 2004.
Facts. I believe Mars' team to Mars. I'm gonna take his team. So I'm gonna go. Let's go LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams. Even though LaMelo is carrying that a little bit. Hold up. Hey, LaMelo the second best player on this list. Dabo, give me a look.
Dude, Mark Williams, dog.
Darius Garland, Zion, Anthony Edwards. That's 3 already.
Hold on. Third. Okay, no. Zion and Anthony Edwards.
I'm loving.
Darius Garland is better than LaMelo.
No, give me LaMelo over Garland. Stop it, Mars. Stop it.
Oh, we're trolling.
I thought this was
give me
duo.
LaMelo.
Right now, even if that's the case, Jalen, even if that's the case, you pick Mark Williams, dog. Everybody.
I wanted to pick Miles Bridges or like PJ, but they're 25.
Or you could have just went with a better duo as a whole.
Yeah, you could have picked somebody else.
Hold on, y'all like Mark Williams can't catch lobs from LaMelo. Stop it. Defense, offense,
that was
defense.
insane. I can't lie.
Damo, you got some nerve making your face like that, Damo, when you're talking about being a season ticket holder down in Charlotte this year.
I want to watch Mark Williams.
I'm going to say, it's not because of the duo of Mark Williams and LaMelo. That's not what I'm about to do it. I'm not about to do it.
Paying for Mark Williams, you should get. That's insane.
I will pay to see Kai Jones tweak out before I go see Mark Williams. Pay to go see Mark Williams.
I would have said Brandon Miller too, LaMelo, Brandon Miller, but just don't know what we're going to see with Brandon Miller yet.
We could have just went with a different.
You actually would have been better off picking Brandon Miller. I can't lie to you.
I ain't mad at
All right, Mars, it's on you. Who you got?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's an obvious pick.
This about to be some bullshit. I can tell.
Mars, make the pick.
There's an obvious pick. I'm not picking them, but I will say whoever's after me, they're from the Pacers. Pick them, please. But I want Jalen Green and Sengun. Thank you very much.
I'm with it. I knew that's where he was going.
I get back to back, right? It's Snake.
I would have said that too, but I was like, let's leave it for Mars.
Yeah, I get back to back, right? Because it's Snake.
Sorry, Mars. We're not snaking today.
Ain't no snake draft today.
But what I do want to say though, Mars,
I'm just lost with this. All right, whatever.
Is it any like? Did you have to think twice about Sengun?
Oh, was I going to pick a Men
Thompson? Or is that just a safer pick?
No, the next pick I was going to make was a Men Thompson and Cam Whitmore. But we don't get to do that, so it's fine. Well, I was actually going to pick Asar Thompson and Jalen's around.
And Huncho, just so you know, Huncho, you ruined the chat. Just so you know, if me and Jalen ruin this list, you ruin the chat. That's why they call you Luncho. With a big L in your name.
Showtime stay firing shots to the chat. The chat is not safe. Y'all ain't safe, chat.
Mustard, you got it.
Not snaking is crazy, but it's fine.
You said me, I'm up next.
Yep.
Man, this is gonna get kind of tough.
They're in Indiana, my friend. They are in Indiana.
I mean, but outside of Hallie, what are you talking about?
They are in Indiana. They are in Indiana.
I mean, I guess I gotta go with I'm gonna go with Hallie and what's his name? The Haitian dude.
Madeline.
No.
Buddy Hield, he's like 40.
Buddy Hield is not 40.
Buddy Hield's older.
The rookie they just had.
His name's
but
not
he hasn't
Buddy,
played.
It's the Haitian dude.
No, not the one they drafted. The rookie from last season, who was third in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but Benedict Mathurin. That's what I said. The Haitian. He's Haitian.
Since when is he Haitian?
Benedict Mathurin's Haitian.
Since he was born, Marl. What do you mean?
You thought I was talking about Buddy Hield? You thought I was talking about Buddy Hield?
He ain't born in Haiti in my house.
Nah. This dude, wow, as hell.
I don't accept. I don't accept. Nah. He ain't Haitian. I'm Googling that.
Yo, Damo, what's on you next?
Says he was born in Quebec. I knew he wasn't born in Haiti. Telling me about Haiti.
I did not know I was still muted. You could be a Haitian from Canada.
I knew he wasn't born there. That's why I said I knew he wasn't born there.
But I will say this. My pick. When is his birthday? Let me make sure. Did he? No, I don't think he did. He? I mean, he might. John Morant Did he turn 24 yet?
24 allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
He turned 24.
Allegedly.
Yeah, his birthday's August 10th. Yeah, he did. He turned 24.
And yo, Mars, he's still Haitian. What are you talking about, bro?
Nah, he was born in Quebec.
Yeah.
You can be Haitian and born in Quebec.
I knew he wasn't born in Haiti. That's why I said.
I never said he was born in Haiti.
I said he wasn't, and I was right.
Oh man,
bro.
I'm drawing blanks. I'm trying to think. 23. So basically, the Zion draft class is the limit. You can't be before that draft class. And honestly, some of these guys just turned 24. So
it's some glaring ones, Damo.
Yeah, it ain't easy, Dom. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be rough.
Some can be a lot are gonna be projections, but it's a couple out there.
Oh, we can do projections. What we think is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Can I see the list, Ron?
What you call it? Wemby and Keldon Johnson?
How old's Keldon?
Keldon is not 23 under.
Is he not?
Keldon's got to be like 24.
He's also the wrong pick.
All right, Devin Vassell then.
I think Vassell
Keldon is 23. Keldon is 23.
Oh shit, bro. So we're including nigga.
Okay, so then no. So I'm still, what you call it? I'm still gonna go Vassell and Wemby.
Don't have nobody.
I swear Vassell's older.
I'm not even gonna. I didn't even think
Vassell's younger.
Vassell's younger. He was
Vassell's like 22. Yeah, Vassell's like
no, Vassell's also 23. They're both just 23.
Okay, 23.
Oh.
But one's a young 23, one's nearly 24.
Hold on, you going with Keldon or Vassell?
Vassell.
The right pick. Yes.
Wemby and Vassell.
I didn't even think about fucking Wemby.
No love for Sohan last time.
No love for.
Oh shit, I ain't even.
ZZ.
He's gonna be starting, Dom. Chill.
Up next.
So Chan will be coming off the bench.
Since we're doing projections,
Actually,
since we're doing projections, I'm gonna go Chet and Giddey. Give me that. I'm hot for sure.
That's a good one.
I can't believe
I thought you was gonna say that one. I thought you was gonna say that one, Damo.
SGA is 25, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Old man getting compared to young players is crazy.
All right, chill. So you next.
I'm gonna go with the kid from Utah, Baji and Kessler Walker.
Walker Kessler.
I'm sorry, I got his name.
You really high on Agbaji. Jesus.
I am.
I was gonna say that's kind of
because I got Keontae George over him. I got Taylor Hendricks over him. Keontae George.
Taylor Hendricks is gonna be nice. Taylor Hendricks is nice.
Yeah, they just drafted Keontae George. They just drafted Taylor Hendricks. I got both of them over Agbaji.
Wait, is Taylor Hendricks gonna play the 3 or the 4?
I assume the 4 next to Walker Kessler and Larry Markkinen will play the 3. I assume, but
so what are they gonna do with John Collins? Bring him off the bench?
Yeah, Collins.
I don't know. I don't know why he's there, but yeah,
I don't know why he's there.
Me neither. I was asking the same question, Mark. Like, what are we doing with John Collins? Why is he in Utah? What's going on?
I
don't think he's gonna stay there. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna use him to get more assets in the future. I think that's all he is.
I genuinely think they're gonna use him as a placeholder until Taylor Hendricks is actually ready to start. I think Taylor Hendricks will come off the bench at the 4.
And not only that,
I think he'll be starting by the end of the season.
Because by the time he gets to his last year, he has like $25 million a year. So by the time he gets to last year, like $25 million in cap relief is good for some teams. So that's an asset they can move.
I never thought I'd be living in a time where a $25 million a year contract is easy to move. I never thought I'd be living to see something like that.
Times have changed, man.
Like we getting you at a reduced rate. He only on the books for $22 million. That's nuts. That is nuts.
All right, here we go. As you can see, the last 3 picks, we had Wemby and Devin Vassell. OKC with Chet and Josh Giddey. And then we just had the Jazz with Walker Kessler and Agbaji. Next, it's on you, Ticket. A duo under 23.
Can I go to the same team, but like a different duo?
Yeah.
All right, give me Cade Cunningham and James Wiseman.
Nigga, what?
Man.
Ticket's trolling, bro.
Oh, there's no way.
He still believes in James Wiseman.
I believe James Wiseman will be a legit double-double this year, and I believe he'll be much improved this year. I think that Monty Williams is going to do a better job with him than he did with old boy in Phoenix.
Ayton.
You should have picked the sword, bro.
I'm gonna say not even the sword. You think that James Wiseman is going to get more opportunity than Jalen Duren to be a double-double guy?
I forgot about Jalen Duren.
I think that
I'm being trolled.
I think there's still life left in him. He was a former top pick in the draft. He hadn't really got a legit shot, in my opinion. I think that he went to the Golden State Warriors, had to play in a certain system that didn't fit his game. The system that the Warriors play is basically, he shouldn't even never been able to go to the Warriors because the Warriors had that injury, had a bad season. They got him. If he would have went to a different team that he really should have went to, they would have focused, and the team that would have drafted him would have they would have focused their team around him. And you would have probably seen a different outcome. They'd have focused everything around him a little differently, and I think you would have seen a different player. I think now in Detroit, he's going to get a different opportunity. I truly believe Monty Williams is going to get a kid a chance. He's 7-footer, a top pick in the draft. I don't think that you come across those in the way they talked about him. I think that he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think he's going to have a solid season this year.
Ticket, who do you think the starting center for the Detroit Pistons is going to be starting?
I think it's going to be him.
Okay.
Over
James Wiseman.
Okay.
Over Duren. Over Jalen Duren.
Man.
I think James Wiseman is going to be young. Listen, again, Monty Williams, an old school cat. You got to work for it. Monty Williams type of guy, he's going to go with the older guys over the younger guys. If you study Monty Williams, then you would know. Monty Williams.
How do you know the older guy is going to outwork the younger guy, though? How do you know the younger guy can't
outwork? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he will make him earn that opportunity. You know, for example, you got guys that, for example, will make those younger guys have to outplay these guys in order to earn their spot. And I just believe that Monty Williams, if you look at his history from when he was coaching all the way back to the Pelicans, even before then, just who he came up under as an assistant, they always believed in those guys earning their opportunity. They just didn't give it to you. It's rare that a guy's going to be given a shot like that, especially when you have another dude who, who's a number one pick, who they still trying to figure out where he's at, man. They still trying to figure out where James Wiseman, who he is and where he's at right now. And I'm talking about Detroit, based off the fact that they might not have felt like they got a honest assessment of his game playing in Golden State. And I believe that. I wouldn't quit on him.
That's fair. It's just when you have the younger guy who's been more dominant and produced more, even last season when James Wiseman got there, they played one of these guys more than the other last year. All signs are pointing to him having a bigger role and having a bigger jump than James Wiseman during this offseason. I just don't see how we're coming to the consensus that after training camp, James Wiseman is just going to outwork Jalen Duren and be the starting edges. You got it. That's your pick.
All right. Last but certainly not least.
I want to ask you a question. Then. Oh, my bad.
Mars, it's on you.
No, I just wanted to ask him a quick question.
You skipped me.
What's up, Ticket? Go ahead. Ask him. You got it.
No, my question to him was just how many games did James Wiseman start with Detroit last year? Did he start last year or no? With the Pistons?
Yeah, he did start.
He had games where he started, yes.
Did he start last year with the Pistons or not?
Yes.
Did he start the season with them, or did he have games where he started?
He started as soon as he got there.
No. Did he start games when he went to the Pistons last year? Did he start?
Did he start games?
Yeah, he started. Yeah.
I'm asking you, Damo. Yeah. Did he start for the Pistons last year?
Can you hear him? He said, "Yeah."
Hello.
No, you. Yeah. Okay. Well, then respectfully put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I love the respectfulness. I like that.
Respectfully put it in your pipe.
I like it.
Ticket. Can I ask you a question? Who do you think started more games? Wait. Ticket, answer my question because I answered yours 12 times. You didn't hear me. Who started more games for the Pistons last year?
He started 22 out of 24 games.
Who started more games for the Pistons last year?
No, you're not hearing me. I'm saying when he went there, he started 22 out of 24 games.
The question 12 times. Who started
more games? My point. No. My point to you was this, respectfully. He went over there late. And got traded over there. When he went over there, he immediately started. So what I'm saying to you,
Ticket. Who started more?
Saying games? Now,
who started more games for the Pistons last
year? We
year?
just gonna take him out the starting lineup We just gonna take him out the lineup and bench him now. Is what you saying?
Who started more games for the Pistons last year?
You're not hearing what I'm saying to you, bro. I'm saying when he went over there, he started almost every game.
So you
asked
me a question and I answer it. I asked you a question and you can't even say, you can't give me an answer. Who started more games for the Pistons last year?
All right, go ahead, bro. Dudes don't like when they get cooked. I'm gonna keep it respectful.
Let's move on. Let's move
on. Oh, now let's move the fuck on. We're about
it's now move on.
Dom, we gotta move on, bro. Dom, we gotta move on.
This is fucking
we gotta move on, Dom.
No, I can't even get to my goddamn point because niggas don't like answering questions. I don't give a fuck how composed you are asking me questions. Jalen Duren and James Wiseman still averaged out the same amount of playing time while they're on the team, whether who started there or not. They still played the same amount of time. That's what I was getting to. But niggas can't even answer a simple goddamn question. Say less. Ask me another question. See how I answer.
All right, it's on you, Mars.
Ron, you skipped me. We're gonna go with.
Oh, my bad.
I raise my voice. If I talk calm, it's a problem. I don't understand what I can do.
Chat or everybody dictate how I act or how I do my content. I do this shit the way I do it, regardless. I'm not gonna change shit. So yes, I'm still gonna get loud. That's how
change, Dom.
I'm not
change.
Be the change.
Be the change, Dom.
Well, I pray for you, brother.
This is
nasty, B. This is garbage.
Oh my god, bro.
Yo, David, it's on you.
We're gonna go with little Toronto Raptors duo here.
I've been waiting for this
guy, Scotty.
You know what's coming, Ron.
We go with Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick. We got Scotty Barnes. Hopefully, he takes the next job. We've been waiting. That sophomore season did not go as what we planned to.
Yeah.
Hopefully this season, if Siakam does get traded, he'll have a little more responsibility. Needs to work on a jump shot, but still, we're still hoping he can be the next Kawhi Leonard. Defensively, I like him. Just offensively, the shot has to get better. The passing is slowly improving. The playmaking, turnover is still the problem. Hey, Grady Dick has one of the best shooting strokes in the league already. Like
Ron, you're nasty, by the way.
It's real.
Damn, so you're telling me Dick has one of the best strokes in the league?
Facts.
Mars, I thought that was going over your head, Mars. When you focus,
That's what he said.
Damn, I thought you were gonna let that go. I'm thinking, I heard it. We're gonna let it go, but no, Mars had to give it up.
And guess what? We don't need to say pause because we grow. We don't need none of that.
I mean, Dick is crazy. Dick is like that.
He got a smooth stroke. He got one of the best shooting strokes in the NBA.
What am I involved in?
Y'all tripping. Dick is nice. Not tripping. Dick is nice.
No, for real though. He actually, I think he'll be a top 10 3-point shooter. Grady Dick's going to be a top 10 3-point shooter in the league already. I think he's the amazing shooter.
What do you project he'll do for next year? Just real quick. We'll get to the Raptors. We still haven't got to the episode, but real quick, what do you think his rookie season looks like?
I think give you a good 12 points a game. Good 12 points a game. I think good rebound of 4 rebounds. Assist or 2.
How many years do you think it takes him to start?
I think maybe mid-season.
Oh, so this season?
Yeah, I think this season, mid-season. Obviously, starting the season probably come off the bench, but mid-season he's going to be starting.
So Dick is coming.
He said Dick's coming off the bench. He said Dick's coming off the bench. That's what he said.
Facts. He's coming.
Yo, what's good today?
Dick is coming.
What's wrong with y'all today?
What's going on, Ox? What's up? Is there an issue?
There's a big freaking issue, Ron.
What is it, Grady Dick?
What's the issue, Ox? What's the issue?
What's going on?
How y'all went to Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick? Y'all done named 3-4
nobody. No Keegan Murray.
Yeah, no Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell, man.
Y'all can't get off Davion Mitchell and Keegan Murray.
No Keegan Murray.
Davion Mitchell can't score, so I mean,
I'm not asking you, Mustard. I'm not asking you.
The reason I left Davion,
you know how I feel about that man, Davion.
The reason I've left Davion Mitchell is because he's 25. That's why I've left him.
He's 25. Here you go.
That's why I've left him.
Oh yeah.
23 and under. 23 and under.
It's when my 4 years came into the league at 23.
Davion's too. I'm tripping.
Yeah. Damn, you don't even know your team.
And isn't Keegan Murray 24? Isn't Keegan
Ron,
Murray
this is your man, by the way. He's coming in here, kicking the door in, and he's screaming on people, and he don't even know what the story is. This is your man, Ron.
Breaking into somebody's house like, oh, my man, wrong house.
Isn't Keegan Murray also pretty old too?
Hey,
Keegan Murray's 23. Keegan Murray's 23.
I'm listening, Big Ox.
Hey, chill. Hey, shoot first, ask questions later.
That's what he did. He just came and kicked in the door and just started blasting.
I just let it go. Hey, Ron.
Oh God.
I embarrassed myself, bro. Kick me.
Yeah,
no, because here's the thing. Do you guys have another reputable player? Because we have one pick left, and it's on Mars, and you might be able to convince Mars to somehow put Murray on the list.
They don't have anyone else. They don't. You can look at that roster. They don't have any 23-year-olds or younger who are gonna do anything. So no.
Damn.
No,
the pick is Scoot and Shaden Sharp. The pick is Scoot and Shaden Sharp.
And I can't believe
that's the proper pick.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's the proper pick, Mars. That's the proper pick.
Yes.
I mean, you might be able to go Scoot and
what about
and Keegan's brother.
Give me an honorable mention.
What about Tari and Jabari? Tari and Jabari, Mars.
Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore would have been my next Houston pick. Not Tari and Jabari.
Hey man, hey, give me this honorable mention. Kaminga and Moody, bro. Give me that.
Oh, come on, bro. Be serious.
No.
Come on. They under 23. Give them some time.
Wait, you wouldn't? So Mars, you want to go with Amen and Jabari? That wouldn't be a better duo.
I'll take Amen and Tari Easton before Amen and Jabari.
Yeah, Tari is better than Jabari.
You do think he's was Trevor Ariza?
What's it for?
Oh, my fault.
He's upgraded. But yeah, Tari Easton's just better at this point, anyway. To me.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
All right, y'all. From the top, let me go ahead and read off our best duos under 23, as picked by your very own, the panel cast. At the top, we have the Timberwolves with Ant Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. Then we have the Magic with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. We have the Cavs, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. Next, at fourth, we have the Pistons, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. At fifth, coming in, we have Zion Williamson and Trey Murphy. Sixth, we have LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams with the Hornets. At seventh, we have the Rockets, Jalen Green and Sengun. Next, we have the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Mathurin. We have at 9, the Spurs with Victor Wembanyama and Devin Vassell. After that, we have OKC, Chet Holmgren, Josh Giddey. Then at 11, we have the Jazz, Walker Kessler and Agbaji. At 12, the Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham and James Wiseman. Cade making the list twice. Check him out. Him carrying, well, both of his duos. Shout out to Cade. Next, we have the Raptors with Scotty Barnes and Mr. Dick. And last but not least, we have the Trailblazers with Scoop, Henderson, and Shaden Sharp. Chat, let us know how you feel about this list. I thought it was a dub list, but it may be some discrepancies that you guys feel.
Jalen Duren making the list is a weird agenda.
Insane. And we got James Wiseman on this shit. Come on.
It's hard to make the list when somebody starts over you.
It's a very weird agenda being pushed right now. Very weird agenda being pushed.
All right, fellas. We've reached the point in the show where it's time for us to talk about the Orlando Magic again. So I want you guys to tell me, what do you think that they'll do this year? And do you think they have the potential to make the playoffs? And I also want to know how far or when you guys think that their championship window will open, if it will open. Damo, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you.
Shit's super easy for me. Not gonna lie, championship window is kind of a stretch. Saying this team is gonna be ready for a championship. I mean,
no, not this year. Just when you think it would open. If it will open, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years.
I give it another 2 years. Another 2 years, this team is gonna be ready to contend. Depending on what vets they bring in, they got probably bring in, I would say, 2 vets in the next 2 years, and the rest of the guys are just, as everybody pans out, stays healthy. I say another 2 years, and this team will be a threat. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be competing immediately for a championship, but they're definitely gonna be trying to push for the conference finals. Paolo Banchero is honestly, and something just flew in my damn eyes. I start talking. Paolo is one of the most disrespected number 1 picks I can remember in recent history because no one wants to talk about him. And you can go with how we heard Dell saying yesterday, oh man, the first take isn't talking about him. Why should we? Why should I listen to him? Because guys like Paolo Banchero, another evolution in the game of basketball, literally is playing for them and is putting up great numbers from day one. Paolo came into the game, and just like Zion and the praise people want to give Zion for having a grown man body and grown man strength, day one, he came in the league looking like a grown man. There was no adjusting to the physicality of the game. There was no adjusting, honestly, to the speed, I would say. It was just him learning basketball. He came in out the gate and was ready to be an NBA player. Genuinely looked like he had it. The same it I say guys like Luka had when he first started, Ja had when he first started, hell, Zion when he's not overweight and not playing, he had when he just started. He had it. Like, if you put some guys around him, this is going to he's a culture changer type of a player. He has that, and on top of that, they've added one of the better premier young foreign players we have in the game right now. Franz, and I was told my pronunciation of his last name was crazy. Wagner, not Wagner, Franz Wagner, one of the premier FIBA players we've just seen playing representing his country, literally has every tool you need from a guy that size at that position in this current state of the NBA when it's highly about skill. I don't know what more you could want from him. It's just about growing. You also look at this team, they added the guard play of Anthony Black, who developed right, literally can be a premier defender at the point guard position for this team and add to their already lengthy size. This is a team whose average height is, I don't know the average height, I'm just talking to my ass at this point about their height, but literally if their point guard is going to be 6'7", their shooting guard is going to be around 6'6", 6'7", their small forward is going to be 6'10", 6'11", their power forward, who also can play combo forward, is also 6'10", and 6'9", 6'10", and with the growth spurt that all these NBA players usually have, we can assume he's going to grow a bit taller. And their center's also 6'10", 6'11". A ton of switchable guys, a ton of youth talent, and I'm going to say for me, high expectations. This is probably one of the best accumulations of young talent we've seen in the league right now. If I look around the league, I would say, to me personally, I would say Houston, OKC, and in terms of young talent for a team, they're number 3. I can't think of a team Houston, all around the head.
OKC, and then Orlando.
I think so.
Detroit's up there.
Cleveland is too. Cleveland is too. Cleveland is too.
Bates. Yeah, Amani Bates.
Amani Bates is crazy. I mean, Cleveland. I how old is the guys in Cleveland? When I was thinking young, I'm thinking like
Darius Garland's 23, Mobley's 21, Jarrett Allen's 24, I think.
I mean, if we're doing young guys, we could still include Ja and Triple J.
Yeah,
Triple J, 24.
Well, when I was thinking young, I was thinking how we were doing the duo.
Okay, yeah.
Well, when you're talking about
24 younger, but fair.
Again,
under 25, then yeah.
When you're talking about a young front line of Wagner, Wendell Carter, and Banchero, so I don't know if there's a younger front line than those guys, right? And in terms of what value they bring. I'm thinking about Cleveland with both Jared Allen and Mobley. When I'm thinking about Cleveland with Jared Allen and Mobley, I mean, I don't think that there's one that I'm looking at down the line where I'm going, yo, these guys have the potential to be something serious moving forward. Now, Cole Anthony hasn't really panned out to what I thought he was going to pan out to. I thought he was going to be a bit better. I think that's because of the emergence of Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz played a lot better than people gave him credit for last year, and I think that's one of the main reasons why. I think that's one of the main reasons why Cole Anthony's production dropped. I'm getting fired as a GM because I thought Toronto was crazy to pass on Jalen Suggs and take Scotty Barnes, and I'm getting fired as a GM because I thought that they should have taken him. But Jalen Suggs is actually playing better now in Orlando as a defender, particularly. He's been a lot better. He's been a lot better for them. So as this team continues to get better, I think those 34 wins that they had last year, I think they could turn that into 40, maybe 40 plus, and be possibly knocking on the door, making the playoffs. Because they got Boston's number.
Every time they played Boston, it was like they seemed
terrible matchup. It's that front line. They got Boston's number.
They're just a very big team.
Do the Magic have too many point guards? I feel like Markelle Fultz.
They have a bunch of combo guards.
As far as I'm concerned, the only two that I think long term is Markelle and Anthony Black.
I actually don't think either of them are long term.
Cole Anthony?
Cole Anthony to me is a 6-man microwave off the bench. That's what he's going to be. If Orlando want to keep him for that, that's perfectly fine. Jalen Suggs, I wasn't very high on him coming out. I knew he was I thought he was just going to go 4 because that was like the consensus, and he did a lot in the tournament and stuff. I was like, cool. I wasn't very high on him. He is a very good defensive player, very tenacious, great hands, aware, blah, blah, blah. I vividly remember Paolo's first game. Like, I vividly remember that game against Detroit. I remember watching that game. Paolo was just dogging the Detroit front line. He was just bigger and stronger, faster, out in transition. And he might have got 2-on-1s. I vividly remember one where he was just
poster.
much strong.
Yeah.
That poster was crazy.
Yeah.
Just side note, do you want to know who played like a terrorist in that game?
James Wiseman.
Killian Hayes. It was Sir Killian Hayes.
Yeah, Killian Hayes. I forgot they didn't have
that's just a side note. Jalen Suggs played well in that game as well, but Paolo was just dominating Detroit's front line in that game. I was like, okay, this guy's come in. He is just a physical NBA player at 19. Like, not many people you could say that about. Zion was one of them. Blake Griffin was one of them. Other than that, there wasn't many people who were more NBA ready in terms of their body and their build than Paolo Banchero. I do like their young players. I'm very high on Anthony Black. I think his passing, his feel for the game, his defense, I think that will translate. I'm questionable about his shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're going to be able to do with. I think their spacing is going to be questionable because Paolo doesn't shoot very well yet. Wendell can hit a corner three, but I don't know if you really want him spotting up to try and make space for people. That's not ideal. Jalen Suggs isn't a great shooter. Markel can't shoot threes. So the shooting is questionable, but what they have right now is a building block of a lot of great young pieces. For me, I'd probably start Markel, Paolo, not in 1 through 5, but the 4 guys I'm definitely starting is Markel, Paolo, Wendell, and Franz. That last spot, I don't know where I'm going.
They need a shooter. They need a three-point shooter.
Do you think Jet Howard can be that guy? Rookie they drafted?
I hated the Jet Howard pick. I hated the Jet Howard pick. For me, Grady Dick was right there. I don't know why.
That's what I thought they was going to go with. I thought they were going to go Grady.
I really don't like the Jet Howard pick because for me, he's not as good of a shooter as I think he thinks he is. I think Keontae George was a better shooter than him. Grady Dick was a better shooter than him. I think there was better shooters in the class, and then he doesn't do anything else. Like, he's like 6'8" and can't rebound the ball. He doesn't really pass. He doesn't create his own shot very well. He's not a very good defender. I don't know what the thought process was with Jet Howard. I'm interested to see what it is. I don't think he's going to start because he's 6'8", and if you run him at the 2, he doesn't move very well laterally, so I'm not sure how much you want to see him on the perimeter. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up starting Markel and Jalen Suggs. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing that. Now, honestly, I'm not very high on that, but I think that's probably what they're going to do.
Well, you don't think if Anthony Black shows like actual, I don't know what the word is, but he can actually defend at an NBA level, do you think they would start him at the 2, like out the gate? Because looking at the depth chart and looking at the guys they have, Markel, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black will be the top 4 guards. After that, you have Gary Harris, Mac McClung, who I didn't even know he was on the team. I don't know who
they just signed him.
Is.
Yeah, they just signed him.
Trevlin Queen, I have no idea who that is. Brandon Williams, don't know who that is, but he's a 6'2" guard. I doubt he's going to start. And then I'm looking, and I guess Joe Ingles, if we're talking about spacing.
Yeah, I was just about to ask y'all about Joe Ingles. What do y'all think about that acquisition right there?
Great veteran.
I think it's a good pickup. Yeah, good pickup.
From what I saw in Milwaukee, he's not good anymore. But great veteran presence, high IQ player, can definitely teach the young guys a thing or two. I don't expect him to play much. But yeah, with Anthony Black, do I think he might start out the gate? I wouldn't bet on it. I think it's possible if he does a lot in training camp. If maybe he's able to space the floor and show that he can actually shoot, they might be more willing to it. Because I think he'll be better than Jalen Suggs pretty quickly. Because I think what he does is what Jalen Suggs does, but he's 6'7" and plays and passes well. That's how I view them right now. So I think he'll start sooner rather than later. But I wouldn't bet on him starting out the gate. But after about 20 games, I wouldn't be surprised if it's him and Markel in the backcourt. And I think.
Do you think they'll run France at the? Do you think they'll test France at the 2?
But then who would they run at the 3? Joe Ingles? Because Jonathan Isaac,
France played a little bit of 2. I want to say.
Yeah. I'm going to say when they went ultra big, they did run France at the 2. Definitely, they would run ultra big lineups. Would be Franz, Paolo, Bol Bol would be out there, and Wendell would be out there. They'd run ultra big lineups. So I wouldn't be surprised by it happening. For me, the biggest issue is Jonathan Isaac can't stay healthy. That's
an X factor right there. I can't.
Jonathan Isaac.
If he was healthy,
Jonathan Isaac is one of the best defenders in the league. One of the best utility guys you can have, but he just can't play. And that's the biggest issue. If he's there and available for them, I think a lot of things change for this team. But at this point, the over-under on him is 4.5 games. Like, he's just not going to play.
I think this team, honestly, and I'm glad you brought up Jonathan Isaac because I really don't know what the hell's going on with him. He came back last year for like 3-4 games and then got hurt again.
Again, had surgery.
But I think honestly, looking at this team, I think they can make. I think they're going to be at least play-in team next year. A lot of people forget Markelle last year when he played. They were a 500 team when Markelle was playing. He changed a lot for them because their point guard play, their starting point guard play, if they just get some consistency, I definitely think that that's something that will elevate this team. And then Franz, I think Franz is one of the better wings in the league. I think he's along with Paolo as well. Paolo, I expect him to take a jump in his second year. His body, he's going to be more build in his body. He's already like one of the more physical young players I've seen in a very long time. Like you said, I haven't seen that since like Blake. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that this team's going to take a jump. I like Wendell. Wendell's one of the most solid post players. It bothers me every day that we really let him go just so we could get Vucevic and be trash.
Wait, you're a Bulls fan, right? You're a Bulls fan.
Yes, I am.
Who's better, Wendell or Vucevic?
I'd rather have Wendell. So yeah, Wendell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Why is that even a debate?
I think he's better
because SB, another Bulls fan, tried to tell me Vucevic was better than Wendell, and I was like, no.
But I actually think Vooch gets a little bit too much hate sometimes, but he's no. But
what would you say?
I like
what would you say is Vucevic's, my bad, like biggest, like what makes him the biggest like liability? Because I hear it's always defense, and he can get rebounds.
It's the defense.
Rebounds, and sometimes
his rebounding is fine for the most part.
That's what I thought.
He can't protect the rim. He can't move his feet.
He can't protect the
rim. Defender. He's a
terrible. He gets exposed.
And for the Bulls, it's bad in particular because in the playoffs, like, you're gonna run up against some of the best bigs in the league, like Embiid and Giannis. There's nothing you can do, and even outside of them, you got some of the best like rim attackers in the league. Like if you face Miami, Jimmy Butler's gonna torch that team in the paint. But enough of the Bulls. I don't want to.
This is why looking at the numbers aren't enough, because if you look at the numbers, Vooch is actually a really good interior defender.
If you look at the numbers,
if you look at the numbers, he's actually a really good interior defender.
Oh, like
if you watch him, if you look at stuff like that, he actually isn't a bad defender. Team defender, not perimeter, team defender, post defender. According to the numbers, he doesn't look that bad. But if you watch him, you're like, what the hell? Like he can't.
We need to pack those numbers up if that's
for real. Because you watch him, I'm watching guys post him up. He doesn't know how to slip posts, right? He doesn't know how to front guys. He doesn't know how to slip blockouts and things like these are simple things. And I'm thinking to myself, damn. If I'm just looking at the numbers, this dude is an all-league defender. But
I do think, and it's weird because when he was in Orlando, he could do some of those little things a lot better. Because when he was in Orlando, now I do think Jonathan Isaac. That's why I said he would be such an X factor for this team because he made Vooch's job a lot easier. Jonathan Isaac, in my opinion, I think he could be a top 5 defender in the league. But the problem is the dude just doesn't play.
Is he over?
I think it's done. I think
it's over. Yeah. It's more than likely over. Because I mean, this is like he's missed like 2 years before this year, right? He hasn't played since the bubble before this year.
He didn't play in the bubble, then he missed 2 years, then he came back.
No, he played in the bubble. He played in the bubble. He got hurt.
He played in the bubble, got hurt, didn't play for 2 years, came back and got hurt again.
I've never seen something like that, and it's like Lonzo. It's like similar to Lonzo's situation. So honestly, that's that. But aside from, I still think Orlando is going to be really solid. Now I will say, like as far as that championship window, I think that opens up. Obviously, Paolo and Franz got to take those leaps and everything, and Wendell, he has to maintain, if not get better. But I think they need to upgrade their guard position because I like Markelle. I think he's really solid, but I don't think he's a starting point guard. If you're really trying to contend for a chance, I don't. Unless, why not? No. But here's the thing, Dom. Let me finish real quick. Unless Paolo he has the potential to do this. Like I said, it just depends on when he takes that leap. Unless Paolo can make up for it. And another thing, also, Markelle gets hurt a lot. Markelle's not healthy. I'm just not really willing to bank on him. Yeah, he wasn't. He missed the beginning of the year, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed the beginning, but when he came back,
but I'm talking about like a full season though, like playing a full season. I don't think Markelle done that.
He came into the season hurt from the previous season though.
No, but that's my point though. Since he's been in the league, he's been struggling with injuries. That's what I'm saying.
I agree, but I think last year you could argue last year was a turning point that when he came back healthy, he stayed healthy.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. But I'm just saying,
yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, you can be optimistic. That's why next year is going to be interesting to see if he can go through that whole season. I think if he gets hurt again, you got to just, not saying they should just trade him immediately, but look for other options to upgrade. I don't know who that even would be because they have to make a trade. I don't know. I don't know who that would be, honestly. Why, you don't like that idea, Dom?
I'll do Markel.
I think he's absolutely fine. I bet you would. I think he's absolutely fine as a starting point guard for any situation. I think if you're trying to contend, you can have Markel as your starting point guard as long as he's healthy, and you're going to do fine. He plays just fine. His first year in Atlanta, he played 72 games, and coming off of the injury from last year, played 60 games this year. So if we can keep that, if we can get that from him, I don't know why he couldn't start.
No, Dom, I agree. If Markel can keep, I just don't trust his health, honestly. I've never trusted it. It hasn't been consistent, unfortunately. I don't trust it. And no disrespect, Markel's actually really solid. He has a nice little mid-range pull-up, good defender, shows a lot of hustle there. Good passer as well. I like what he brings, even though his floor spacing's not there. I really don't even care about that, honestly, because the mid-range pull-up is really solid. He can make up for it in other ways, but I just don't trust his health. But I like the team. I think next year there will be a play-in team at bare minimum, and I think they can make the playoffs. Honestly, I think they can.
I think with the Magic.
All right, go ahead, Jalen. ZZ, I want to hear from you next, and then Ticket, I want you to wrap it up for us.
I think the Magic for me is they seem to have like a lot of just kind of like good players in all these spots. It's just a fit. I think a lot of these guards, I think they excel most when they have the ball in their hands. I think like what Mustard said, the spacing and shooting is going to be a problem for this team because I don't really think they have any elite shooters on this team. And I think most of these guys are borderline below average 3-point shooters at best. So I think that'll be a problem. So yeah, figuring out how to play together, how to distribute the ball. I think the one kind of good shooter they have is Gary Harris. I think he's a guy, if he wants to start at the 2, that's a guy, if he can stay healthy. I remember he had a year in Denver, I think, where he averaged like 18. That was like 4 years ago at this point.
He shot well from 3 this past year, too.
Yeah, he shot well, too. So I think he's a guy, if you play him at the 2, get some shooting in there if you want to start him at the 2.
Gary's a rotation guy, though. Gary Harris is a rotation guy. I think he's always been a rotation guy. That's who he is. He's a solid rotation guy.
Yeah, not always. He was nice in Denver.
He had like one in a year and a half in Denver where I was seeing something.
Right,
people were saying they should. Those are
in the future. I was
those are point in time. People said they should trade Jamal and keep Gary.
That was a crazy comment.
Gary Harris was playing some elite defense. He like 40%.
He was like that. He was like, and then it was just downhill from. I don't even.
For this team, their biggest.
That's the one platinum album we're talking about.
For this team, the weakness they have right now is shooting. I think he's a guy that can really kind of help mask that or be their shooter. So him starting at the 2, I don't mind. And if he can stay healthy, this team could be fine. In terms of where they'll be, I don't think they're anywhere close to being a championship contender. I don't think Paolo could be the best player on a championship team. We're going to wait and see. So I think for them to be a championship, caliber team, they need to draft somebody else or get somebody else. I think Paolo's a number 2 on a championship team. And for this season, I think they're a play-in team. Maybe they can sneak into a 6th seed, but I'm thinking play-in team.
Cool. ZZ, talk to us.
Yeah, I don't think a 6th seed is going to be in this team's future. I see it at minimum playing. I remember going into last year, when I was looking at most of the bottom feeding teams in the Eastern Conference, and more specifically the Magic, the Hornets, and the Pistons. I was like, out of all those teams, the Magic looks like they have some sort of potential. Basically, I made that assumption based off of looking at the roster and seeing how many young guys that they had, even with Bol Bol at that time. And now with Bol Bol being gone, I just asked y'all about Joe Ingles and how you think he could fit from a veteran's perspective, because everybody else on this team is significantly young or significantly tall for some reason. They got a lot of 6'11", 6'10" guys. So when I look at them going into the next season, I think about Paolo specifically last year with his rookie year. It was incredible. It was pretty solid. I wasn't expecting him, like Mustard alluded to and Mars alluded to. I wasn't expecting PB to just hop into the league and just look like he belonged amongst the best of the best or the fastest of the fastest or whatever, strongest of the strongest. So when I look at the rest of the team, though, Wendell Carter, I've always thought that, he's from a defensive side of the ball, especially on the interior, it can help them. My biggest thing when I look at young teams, though, and when I try to analyze them is they have to find some sort of identity. So with that, when you look at all of the expendable pieces that they may have, because like we alluded to, they do have a lot of guards, combo guards, if you will. You got to think about that. So I think about them in the next like few years, if they're able to move some more pieces around, who would be like the last few people that are for sure going to be on the team? Obviously, PB. Fultz for some seems like he could still land on a starting job for a championship contending team or whatever. Wendell Carter, I think, would still be here. Don't know about Cole Anthony anymore. Jalen Suggs, I'm also thinking about. For him, I expect him to take a bigger leap next season for them to even be in contention for a play-in spot, just as an extra piece of help. But outside of that, like I said, I see them minimum play-in team. And they also got a new coach, if I'm not mistaken, too, right? So, you know, he's got to figure out what sort of identity they're going to need anyway going into this season. So
they got rid of Mosley?
Say what?
They got rid of Mosley? Or am I...
No, he's still there.
No, they got Jamal Mosley. Yeah, they still got Jamal Mosley.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yo, ZZ, you brought up Jalen Suggs, and I'm surprised nobody's brought him up yet. I actually think he, along with Anthony Black, is the future of their backcourt as of right now, unless they just draft somebody that, you know, is a stud as well. But those two guys, they both, I think Jalen Suggs is
even
underrated.
If Fultz is healthy, Ron?
Yeah. I think Jalen Suggs.
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Jalen Suggs though. I think he has a little bit of untapped potential. I think he's gonna have a breakout year this year too. But also too, just defensively between Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs, that's a very good defensive backcourt. And Jalen Suggs, he got game for real. He just he's really, his first 2 years wasn't really all that good, but he could shoot. He's sneaky athletic, and he really a dog too. But we'll just have to see. But I do think in the future that those two would be a solid backcourt if they continue to develop. And Anthony Black, obviously, you know.
Who is Mosley?
Jamal Mosley, their coach.
The coach, yeah.
Oh, the coach. Okay, yeah. No, he's still on the roster.
ZZ said they got a new coach. I was wondering if.
I looked on. I looked up their roster. Yeah. I looked up my roster on Basketball Reference, and it said 0-0 for his record. So I was just confused because I haven't checked their head coaching.
Okay.
The last 5 years.
No, he's still on the crew. Mm-hmm.
Word.
Okay.
Yo, Ticket, talk to us about the Orlando Magic. What are your expectations for them next year, or your projections? And do you think this core right here can be good enough to contend for a championship in the future?
What's up, Playboy? I pretty much agree with what most of the guys are saying as far as them being a play-in team. And I think they'll be the most dangerous play-in team in the Eastern Conference. I think they got a potential to beat some of the big dogs, maybe, throughout the course of the season. I think they'll get – last year they had a lot of good wins. I think they beat the Celtics 3 times, and they had a lot of other good wins against very good teams in the league. I see them building on that and having that unity coming back. And I think that they won't be an easy out for whoever they play. There are teams that I think they can give a run for their money. I think that they give Brooklyn a run for their money. I think that they can give Atlanta a run for their money. And a couple of those other teams in the Eastern Conference that we're unsure about. They're a dangerous team for the Boston Celtics. They were dangerous last year, but with the Celtics losing Smart and losing some of that identity, I think they're even more dangerous for a team like that. I think it's a bad matchup for a team like Boston. And if they can creep in the playoffs and get in the 8 seed and Boston's a 1 seed, or they get a 7 seed and Boston's a 2 seed, that's going to be a real bad matchup for the Boston Celtics. I just think that Orlando is doing it the right way. And I honestly think that, I don't think they're ever going to be able to recruit a superstar to come sign with their team. But I think that they're going to have to continue to try to build through the draft, which I think is going to be hard because they're one of those teams that's good enough to not, get a top pick, but they're not bad. They're not, good enough to be a real contender, but they're a problem. So, in the gist of things, man, I think they went around.
They won 34 games last year, Ticket. How many more you think they get this year?
38.
Or less.
Or how many? I got 34.
I got one at 38. I got them winning 38 to 40 games next year. 38 to 40 games next year between that margin.
That's a play.
And I think, like I said, I think they're a playing team, and they're dangerous. I think that's a team that no team want to play in the East, in the play-in or playoff series in the first round. I don't think they're not a team because they got young guys that can cause problems. It's not going to be an easy series. Not going to be a series that you just say, okay, we're just going to walk through them in the first round. And then, like I said, against some guys, if they catch a Brooklyn again, like they may be better than Brooklyn this year. I don't know when we're going to get to Brooklyn. They may be better than Brooklyn. Oh, but before I lose my train, I wanted to address down one thing. You said something I didn't get to finish cooking real quick, respectfully. But I just want to say because they say that when I scream, they say you can't win no debates. Just screaming and you don't know what people. That's not winning debates. So I'm trying to talk calm so that they can understand what I'm saying. So you were saying something about Jalen Duren, and my whole point to you is that when Big Fella went over there, he took his spot. Now Duren's a better defender, but Wiseman's a better offensive player, and Wiseman was also giving you right around the same amount of rebounds, and his block shots was down. It could be better for his size, but he was only giving you 25 minutes a game. I think if you up those minutes, he was giving you 12 and 8. I think he can be around a 18 point, 10 rebound per game guy if he's playing 30 minutes a game. So like I said, I thought I cooked you.
36 now?
I don't know how you feel. Huh?
I said we're using hypothetical stats. We're assuming now?
Well, no, I'm not using hypothetical. He did take a starting job when he went over there.
I wasn't talking about that, but okay. Yeah.
But I mean, respectfully, if you want to put a little wager, respectfully, I'll be willing to take some of your money.
What's the wager ticket?
Who's going to start?
No, I'm saying, but you said he's going to start over Wiseman. I said Wiseman's going to start.
So you want to bet who's going to be the starting center day one?
Yeah, we can put that money on. I mean, if you want, we can put 100 on it if you want.
That's fine. Lock it in.
100 on who's starting is crazy. I can't.
I mean,
hold on. Who starts day one? Who starts more?
They both don't.
Imagine they just both start and just.
What if it's Beef Stew? What if Beef Stew starts and neither of them are starting?
I mean, one of
them. Then you
both start. Then we both. Yeah, we both push.
Y'all donate $100 to the.
Hold on. Is it who's starting day one or who starts the most games throughout the year?
Day one.
Day one. Just who's the day one starter because you can't anticipate for injuries.
Injuries and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, I would say if you're saying he took his spot, I don't know how you take somebody's spot and y'all both play the same amount of time while y'all together. I don't know how that's taking his spot. I mean, Jalen Duren was the youngest player in the NBA, so he wasn't starting as much. And when there were injuries before James Wiseman got there, that's when he would get his starting time. But when they got James Wiseman, they wanted to see the kid play and give him an opportunity they didn't get. So I can understand why he started as much when he got there. But they still averaged around 25 minutes a game when James Wiseman got there and while Jalen Duren was there. They 25 minutes.
Maybe it was better that.
And they had time when they were playing together. They ran them together at times too. So I don't know. This whole notion.
You just said that
his spot is just wrong, but that's fine.
No. You just said that he's going to start over him this year. That's what you were saying to me. And so I just respectfully wanted you to stand on that with your dollar sign.
Ticket, lock it in. We can put 100 on it.
Lock in.
All right.
W bet.
We have another bet on the panel. Can't wait to see how this transpires. But before the show ends, we have a couple more minutes. I got some super chats that I do want to read. T Wit times 2 said, chill. Wanted to talk about the Rams losing to the 49ers on Sunday, talking about 10-0. Well, chill. Talk about 2021 when we sent y'all ass to Cancun.
The last time y'all beat us in the regular season, KD was on the Warriors. I just want to put that on your mind. KD was on the Warriors. That's the last time y'all beat us in the regular season. We own y'all.
In a minute.
Period. We own you guys. 10-0.
Wait, Chill, you a 49ers fan?
Yes, I am. Believe 49er red. Aaron Donald, 3.5 tackles, 3 assists, and 0 hits on the quarterback on average in those 10 wins. We own you dudes.
Yo, Henry, wipe your mouth. Wipe your mouth and get off your knees.
Bro, that was crazy.
Ray Dale Goat Takes said, chill, listen. Preaching to the chat ain't gonna work on keyboard warriors and trolls. You can't take it seriously and brush it off. They'll keep pushing your buttons for a reaction. It's the internet.
Thank you, sir.
Damo, are you gonna take notes too?
Man, no.
We're gonna stop that.
Damo, you got heat for the trolls?
I'm a troll myself, so I mean, I'm not about to just. I mean, I'm gonna ignore you to a point, but then after a while, after you keep slurping, I'm gonna give you the attention you asking for. I'm not above that. I'm not at that point of life yet where I'm just above talking shit to people back. I'm not at that point yet. I ain't reached that level of success. So
I'll never get that, Damo. Just so you know, as you get older, it doesn't necessarily mean you get more. I'm not at that point neither. So
all right, y'all, you got it. You play with Damo and chill, you're gonna get what you're looking for.
I'm not there either.
Jeremiah said, chill. What's a player you really liked very early and thought they'd do more during their career? My dad liked Nick the Quick Van Exel.
Lamar Odom. I thought Lamar Odom was going to be way better than what he was. He always left. He always left me wanting more, man. 6'10", left-handed, super nice with the pill. One of the best ball handlers that I've seen. Guy can knock down the mid-range. He could score on anybody. Yeah, he always left me wanting more, yo. Always. But you dudes focus.
Why'd you say it twice?
This is a show.
You just said another man left you wanting more.
When you watch the show, somebody could leave you wanting more. And that's what he did.
Said it again.
Chill. They're on these kids are 16, 17, 18.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't really get comfortable in your own skin. That's why it's I'm good with me, fam. I'm straight with me.
Hell, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Chill, they got JV practice after this.
That's really what they got.
That's what the super chat was trying to tell you. Y'all can't be concerned about what other people, say and stuff like that. Like if somebody leaves you one more, they leave you one more. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what Lamar Odom was. He left me. He definitely did.
Irdo with the super chat said, if Steph wins another chip and Finals MVP, we are going to have some very uncomfortable conversations. Damo, Chill, Jalen.
Why?
They're going to try to say,
off your knees.
Fact.
I
have the universe.
I have to say it all time. No, stop. I got to defeat this notion now because I don't know why y'all keep lumping me in with niggas like Jalen who are LeBron fans to the T of, anybody he played is just getting derailed. Curry is 6th all time on my all-time list. He is 6th. He is right below Kobe and right above Magic. What the fuck are we about to talk about if he wins another chip? What are you going to talk to me about? What uncomfortable conversation we about to have? Him being over Kobe? We can have that conversation. I'm for it. Let's have that conversation then.
Dom, it's probably because you troll Warriors fans online.
I got Curry 13. I got Kevin Durant number 12. Kevin Durant.
You got Kobe Bryant 13?
No, I got Steph 13.
Oh, I thought you said you had
I got Kobe.
Jalen used to have Kobe at like 10, but he's moving on.
He's at 5th. I got 5 now.
He jumped 5 spots on you. He jumped 5 spots.
The more you look at, the more you hear other people some good facts about that era, the 2000 era. Because the only drawback on Kobe, the only thing we always got to say is for the first 3, Shaq was the guy. But if you go and look back at those playoff series, Kobe was the guy leading up to the finals in a lot of those
the drawback is efficiency for Kobe.
No, and it's the efficiency, which again, you put in the context of the era, he wasn't that efficient. Like he wasn't.
I'm just thinking about. I ain't even talking about that.
He wasn't that inefficient.
If Steph Curry would have won
inefficient, you meant Jalen?
Yeah, he's not that inefficient.
But if Curry would have won another championship, what uncomfortable conversation are we having?
Man, you already know.
My conversation isn't changing. Me personally.
Yeah, mine neither. Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Rigs like that.
I think Curry. I think
Curry, he doesn't go ahead of Bryant for me. So
I think the thing for Curry that really elevates him is just the longevity, just building on what he's already doing. That's really it.
Steph will end up passing Magic and Bird for me this next season as long as he's healthy.
He hasn't already.
Nah.
He's serious.
He already passed him for me. Yeah, he already passed.
That's fine. I mean, that.
All right, y'all. We got one more super chat to get through. Oh my, Zeezy, you're in Lakerland.
Yes, I am. Unfortunately, but I'm there. Love it.
And when can we find you guys on Lakerland?
Y'all can find us on Player's Choice every Tuesday at 7 and every Sunday at 1, from 1 to 3 now. Thank you guys at PC for giving us 2 hours. My co-hosts are idiots besides 7. so it's just light out. And yeah, so we went on last night. Go on again on Sunday. Hopefully, have some of the people on this panel on the show to give their takes. Ox has already been there. Ticket's already been there. Chilltown, you're next. Mars, you're next. Mustard, if you want to come through. Damo for sure. Jalen for sure. Just stop the LeBron glaze. We already have too much of it, but it's whatever.
Hey, we speaking facts. Look, I'm a Laker fan too until LeBron leaves. Then the Lakers gotta get the hell out of here.
No way the Lakers got 2 shows a week. That's crazy, bro.
That's what they have. The Lakers propaganda. You can't stop it.
We were only gonna give them one show, but they left us one more, so we had to give them that extra show and an extra hour.
I'm finna be on that Warrior show to wherever Haley at. Tell him I'm finna be on that Warrior show.
Let's be real. If LeBron was not a Laker,
oh, dude, look at you.
They get
you got him at 11. Sounds like you the emotional one, my man, not me. You always talk about somebody being emotionally intelligent. That sounds like you, my man. You ain't emotionally intelligent. Nigga, you got him at 11. If you was in my face, you'd probably be screaming right now.
You guys complain that Cho doesn't read the chat. Now he reads the chat. He's just grabbing at the chat every time.
Give me a break.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I do have a couple more super chats, so I don't want to leave y'all hanging. So let's go ahead and do this. Alan R said Williams will never ever be better than Giddey.
Hey, wait on it.
I assume you're talking about Jalen Williams. So
yeah.
Talking about J-Dub.
The doctor said Peyton Watson going to take a massive leap this year.
I expect him to fill the Bruce Brown. Well, the Christian Brown, who's going to step into Bruce Brown's void, and then he's going to step into Christian Brown's new empty void. That's what I expect for Peyton Watson.
Vontae said, bigger what if? Penny Hardaway or Grant Hill, and why?
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill was going to be a top 5 player all time conversation. He was.
I'm going to say Penny because Grant Hill
still
had a run. Grant Hill still had a run of greatness.
He was the next Moss. Just so you know, Moss, they was talking about him as the next, like he was going to be a better version.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That conversation.
Top 5 all time, man. But
Grant Hill still had a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, he did.
I still remember Grant.
But he started.
Grant Hill was still a valuable role player in Phoenix.
Oh, yes, he started breaking down at the year 6 with that ankle injury.
That's the difference.
Penny
was finished.
Yeah, Penny was.
So that's a bigger what if to me.
Toxic Key said I had James Wiseman as a bust.
Same. How much you value draft pick position?
Toxic Key also said Wiseman has the same game as Greg Oden.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. That's so disrespectful.
That's crazy. That is terrible, right there.
That's so disrespectful.
Greg Oden is one of the best defensive prospects we've ever seen. James Wiseman.
Yeah, that's so insulting, bro.
I thought Mars. I did not know he was made of glass. I thought I was looking at Patrick Ewing 2.0. I really felt like that when he was coming out of school.
Greg Oden had one leg shorter than the other, bro.
That was the thing. Yeah, they never fixed it.
That shit is so crazy.
They never fixed it.
Respect Greg Oden. That's a terrible take.
All right, y'all. Wyatt MS went on a rampage of super chats, so I'm gonna go ahead and run these down. He said, Chill defending his glorious king, embarrassing. He said, Dementia Town. He said, Chill gets emotional about his king, man. LOL. He said, Chill be chatting a lot, man. Dementia Town. He said, Jalen, hop off your king, schlong.
Hold up. Oh, well, guess what? I ain't old enough yet to not respond. Tell your mother, your grandmother, and your sister to hop on.
All right. On that note, y'all, Y8MS just ended the show. If you, I wanted to read more super chats, but Y8MS just shut down the stream. So we'll see you guys at the same time tomorrow. We will be talking about one of the premier point guards in the NBA tomorrow. He plays in Atlanta. He goes by the name of y'all know.
Treadway.
Kobe Buffkin.
Take it light.
Oh, Kobe Buffkin is crazy.
Out.